All right. Welcome to ABL Live. My name is Anthony Brian Logan. Thank you for joining me tonight. We got quite a few topics on deck. A lot of things have been happening. That Trump 2020 interview called 30 Hours with little George Stephanopoulos. I put a thumbnail up that had George walking with Trump and Melania just to show you the height difference. It's pretty striking. And George used to be with the Clintons. He was down with their whole squad. Okay, so that tells you what kind of interview you're going to get from little George. We also have Kashuv. Should you be kicked out of school or have your admission rescinded because of past racial comments that were said privately just to be edgy and not to be racist? If you apologize, does it matter? Does anybody care? Does this apply to people that aren't white or white appearing? What if you are more on the left? Are you giving more leniency or no? ICE is going to deport millions. Hopefully we can get that done. That's much easier said than done, but hey, I'm optimistic and I'm ready for it to happen right now. We got too many illegal aliens taking up all of the space in America. And speaking about illegal aliens taking up space, AOC had the nerve, the audacity, the unmitigated gall to label border detention centers as concentration camps. What's really going on? We'll talk about all that and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining. You could be anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me on this beautiful Wednesday night. I appreciate you wherever you are in the world. Thank you for joining. If you would, please do me a favor and hit the like button. That'll do me a fantastic service. Also, share the video. And if you're not subscribed already, whether you're watching the live or on the restream, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button right now. That'll just do me a big time favor. All right. So thank y'all for joining. I really, really appreciate it. Hey, their Orlando rally was fantastic. I wish I could have gone to it. But, I've been to rallies before. Well, I went to one rally before. That was right after I went to the White House. Almost like in that same week, I went to a rally here in Tennessee. It was crazy. You're going to be there all day. Like, the Orlando rally was bigger because that was more of a national one. The one here was just for people that are, you could come here from all over the place, but it was not marketed like it's a national thing or international thing. It was a guy that came there from Tokyo. That was wild. In Orlando. So that was more of a national and international one. People were there, camped out all night. And, you make friends really quickly in the line. People are in the line handing you snacks and, bottles of water. You're striking up conversations. You're meeting people. Everybody's super nice. It's a great environment to be in. If you've never been to a Trump rally, just go to it. Even if you don't like Trump, just go to the rally with an open mind and an open heart. People will treat you like just fantastic. Now, it was one guy that got kicked out. People might point to that, talking about, oh, look at how they treat people. But this guy was a protester. He had on a white supremacy shirt. Like it said, white supremacy on it. This is a black dude, by the way. He had on a black T-shirt that said white supremacy and then some words up underneath it. I forgot what the words underneath it said. But this guy obviously was not there for any kind of peace. Guys like that get kicked out immediately. People that are there who are, all on the same page, no problems. Everything's all good. And that's the kind of energy that I really appreciate seeing. I did not see Burgess Owens on the Hill, but I heard about that. Somebody sent me that just now. And he was talking about, Democrats pay reparations. If anybody be the Democrats, that was a good one. So shout out to Burgess Owens. I want to get him on the show, actually. I definitely want to get him on the show. We could talk about a few things. But, hey, it makes sense to me. If anybody were to pay it, it should be them. They were the ones that were engaged in slavery. So if anybody were to pay it, it'd be them. Although in reality, it'll never be paid because, we just got to think a little bit realistically. What claim is there? Because even though it was reprehensible, and it was a terrible practice, it was legal. So what law was broken? Number one. Number two, who gets the money? Like, there's so many flaws with that whole argument and reparations. It's kind of like almost wasted time to talk about it, really. I mean, we can talk about it, but it's not going to yield anything that people who are fighting for it actually want. All right. People running for office are going to talk about how they'll give reparations. It's just empty campaign promises. That's always been the thing that politicians do. And say, hey, I'll give you this. I'll give you that. Don't even worry about it. Just trust in me and I'll give you whatever you need. That's how politicians have been for a long time. That ain't nothing new. So I would not expect that to actually come through. But if it were to come through, what Burgess Owens said was correct. Let Democrats pay for it since they were the ones that were behind it. The Republicans were abolitionists. We freed the slaves. Okay. Well, the actions that we took led to the freeing of the slaves. Some would say that Lincoln didn't care about freeing the slaves, all this, that, and the third, but it doesn't really matter because at the end of the day, he did it. You know, the route to a location is irrelevant as long as you get there. And you got to credit Abraham Lincoln with getting there. He's the one that passed emancipation, 13th, 14th, 15th. You know, we could go on. Exactly, Filthy Phil, like curing cancer. Right. Joe Biden talking about, oh, when I get elected, we're going to cure cancer. So you can't cure cancer right now? Why? What's really going on? Why are you hiding the cure from us? Shouldn't you be able to come up with it right now? You see what I'm saying? So I thought that was pretty interesting, but it is what it is. You know, but, you know, Joe Biden, just like all these other people, they don't really, you know, they don't really care too much about that. All they really care about is just trying to get people to believe in whatever they are doing. And that's pretty much all that there is to it. Yeah, it'll be talked about reparations, that is, for a long time. It won't be settled anytime soon. Yeah, the Irish were slaves too. People don't talk about that. And, you know, it's funny how similar the Irish and the blacks are in America. You know, I had some Irish homeboys when I was coming up. When I got to like high school, I moved to an area that had, you know, Irish, Italian, you know, the kind of like, I guess you would call them lower class whites. That's who I was in, you know, that I was cool with. The McGee's and McCoy, all these people. And we're very similar in our family structure and how we act and a lot of different things. And a lot of that comes from, you know, back in the day, how we came over here and how we grew up in similar circumstances, you know, and I think that they were able to actually progress more than we have, unfortunately. Yep. Reparations, that's a lost cause. It's definitely a lost cause, but hey, it is what it is. Now, did you guys see that Trump 2020 interview with little George Stephanopoulos? That guy's got to be about 5 foot even. I mean, no, nothing against little people, but when you're on TV, sometimes you're shot in a certain way to make it look a certain way. But George is a really small guy. But anyway, aside from the heightism that I'm engaging in right now, that interview, it was kind of like a dud. It could have been much more. It could have been, you know, I don't know. It just wasn't really a lot there. What's the point of having this special rehashing some of the same old tired topics? Come up with a new topic. They're trying to push this whole thing about, what did Trump say as far as foreign intel? That was the height. That was the highlight of the entire interview. And it was nothing burger because it was a hypothetical situation. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, if you got a call for somebody, what would you do? And then they're trying to say because of how he answered hypothetical that has not happened, that is impeachable. How does it make any sense? It does not make any sense. But people will still just engage in it. Shout out Nolo King, 5'6" man checking in. Hey, I think that you are about a foot taller than little George. Just, you know, keeping it real. But nah, I mean, what is the purpose of rehashing some of the same old tired topics that they did in the interview? Why? For what? the hypothetical situation, it wouldn't really, it doesn't make a difference. Talk about things that have actually happened. Talk about Hillary Clinton actually selling 20%, or it being engaged. I got to say it properly, being involved with the selling of 20% of the USA's uranium supply to the Russian Federation. How she was buddy with Vladimir Putin and pictures with him, hugged up, laughing and giggling and whatnot. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about how she paid money to, Fusion GPS. Then they paid money to a British national, and then he got some Russian dirt on Trump, and then that was given to the FBI while he was getting paid by the FBI to then spy on Trump through the FISA warrant, which was obtained illegally. We don't want to talk about that. That's okay. We're going to focus on that little thing right there. It was a nothing burger, but it is what it is. Hey, you're right about that, Stymie. Every race has been a slave at a point in time, a point in history. Prove me wrong. Thank you for your donation. You're correct. Every race has been a slave at a certain period of time, a certain point in history. It is what it is. So, the whole slavery thing has been beat to death. And I think people are kind of tired of it at this point in time. Nobody's trying to hear it anymore. Nobody cares anymore. It's an old topic. People are going to continue to talk about it, I suppose, until the cows come home. But at a certain point, we got to be able to realize that it's really irrelevant. It's unimportant. But thank you to the super chatters already. Thank you to Adam, who says first. Thank you for being first, and thank you for your donation. Shout out to G. Carjala, who says Wednesday ABL live. We could be anywhere, but why? There you go. Great question. Thank you for your donation. Thank you to Man Some Song, who says they are putting illegal Democratic voters in concentration camps. Hey, shout out to you for the donation. That whole thing about concentration camps, that's crazy. And the funniest part is that she tried to clean it up, talking about, well, I'm right according to the dictionary. I was just using a technical term. No, you weren't. You know what you're talking about. You're talking about Nazi Germany because you said never again. We got to make never again really mean something. Come on. We all know that the never again is a phrase that's always used when the idea of concentration camps are brought up as it relates to Nazi Germany and the Jews. That's their rallying cry, the never again. Everybody knows that. So let's not play games. She knew what she was doing. She's trying to hide and trying to clean it up. Her handlers have told her, hey, well, you're right according to this definition. Nobody's trying to hear that. Just be real. Just be honest. Don't sit there and lie to my face. Just tell me what's really going on, and then we can get somewhere. But if you're just going to sit there and lie, then what are we really doing here? I don't know. But hey, thank you to Moises Santos Carlo for the donation. Definitely appreciate it. Now, do you think AOC is going to be able to get reelected? People are saying that she should run for mayor of New York or a senator or even the president. I think if she were to run for president in 2024 or 2028, she'd be the front runner of the Democratic Party if her popularity continues, because she's popular right now. But in the age of social media, that popularity can be fleeting. If you don't keep it up, if you don't continuously feed the beast, you may become irrelevant very quickly. Here today, gone today. It's like the new one-hit wonder. You understand what I'm saying? You come out with a bang on social media, everybody knows your name, but you don't continue to be somebody, and then the next day you're gone. Some of these viral stars, I mean, where are they now? I don't know. So she's like the first political viral star, in my opinion. Is she going to be able to survive another 2 years, 3 years, 4 years as that same star? I don't know. But we'll see. We'll definitely see. All right, let me put this on my social media right quick so everybody knows I'm here. And again, thank y'all for joining. If you're just now joining the video, the stream, whether you're watching it live or on the repeat, please hit the like button. That helps out tremendously to get my rankings up, to get everybody to come in and get some of this good word. And also share the video. And if you're not subscribed, please do so. That's just, That right there would be a fantastic favor from you to me. Thank you for that. And, oh yeah, if you want some of this merch, if you want the hats, if you want the flags, links in the box. Check them out. It's all right there for you. And what else do we have? What's the next thing? Oh, ICE going to deport millions. Now, I'm not sure how we're going to do that. I want it to happen. I'm optimistic that it's going to happen, but I'm not sure what's going to be done. What's the method that we're going to utilize? Do we know where everybody is? A lot of people are here, due to expired visas. Are we going to go through an audit of seeing whose visa is expired or not? Is that possible to do? How about people that come across the border? We got to get that wall finished. We're building the wall, but we got to get that thing finished. And I think once we're able to do that, then we can continue to, ramp up our efforts against illegal immigration. That's going to be the biggest thing right there, the wall, because people are walking across. People talking about, oh, well, the tunnels are going to be built too. What about the tunnels? Well, not everybody has the access to get to a tunnel. Not everybody is going to be able to do that. That's not, you can't just, it ain't like gophers. You're talking about human beings. And if you're going to have 500 humans come across the border at once, a tunnel ain't going to really be able to do it. You need a subway system for that. And at a certain point, you got to be able to have food, water, all that underwater. And you can't just have roads and stuff to access these people underground. So to have hordes of humans come in the tunnel, just not realistic. You got to cut off the land travel. Also, the air travel. People coming across, on visas is kind of phony, and then they overstay. We got to tighten that up too. But definitely tighten up that ground traffic, and also tighten up some of the drug traffic. The drugs are everywhere, and we got to get that squared up. Osama, you're illegal. Hey, man, you got to get that tightened up, man. you got to get it tightened up. Thank you to Mansom Song, who says AOC said she likes our American vets because they take care of our pets. Okie dokie. Thank you for your donation. AOC, I'm not really sure what the plan going forward is. I really don't get it. Let me see. Thank you to Time Travel, who says, great channel. Thanks. I appreciate you. Thank you for the compliment and your donation. But we got to see what's going to happen with this, illegal purge. I want to see that happen ASAP. And one thing we can do right away to get some of them self-deporting is to cut off illegal immigrants from any kind of government assistance. That should be a federal law. Okay, I don't care what states want to do. At a certain point, you got to have some things be federal. Like, you should not have a state where it's legal to kill somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I just want to go outside and shoot somebody, that shouldn't be legal because I'm in a different state where it's legal. That murder should be murder regardless of where you are. Just like breaking into the country should breaking into the country wherever you are. It shouldn't be no sanctuary cities and all that. If you are a state that has sanctuary cities, you should be charged with harboring fugitives. And it could be a form of sedition, treason against the state, against the USA. That kind of behavior should not be tolerated, and it should be on the federal level. I'm a big fan of states' rights, 100%, but some things should just be universally illegal. Breaking into the country. Like, it ain't just breaking into Texas or Arizona or California or New Mexico or wherever you are. It's breaking into the USA. So that should be a federal thing that states cannot supersede. Thank you to Mike from Queens, who says AOC does not know when to shut her mouth. Hey, she's trying to keep the party going. She's trying to keep popularity afloat. So she got to keep on talking and saying different things. That's all that it is. She doesn't really care what she says as far as it being factual or not. She's just trying to get that money, keep on coming in. Yeah, the illegals in Arizona, I can imagine, just off the chain, off the hook. Too many people here illegally. I saw that Deja Deluxe. It says NFL football player Burgess Owens says Democrats should pay reparations. Yes. Yeah, that was a great testimony from him. I've not seen it in full. I saw like a little piece of it on social media, but I got to go check it out. I may do a video about that, actually. That's a good topic there. Yeah. Now, one thing you got to understand about ICE is that you got people like AOC and others trying to target them, saying ICE, they should be disbanded. They're doing things that are inhumane. What are they doing that's inhumane? We have laws in the books. Now, if AOC or Maxine Waters or Nancy Pelosi or whoever, whatever other windbag wants to be complaining about the laws, where you're in Congress, you're a lawmaker, change the law. It's very simple. And if you can't change the law, then you got to deal with the law as it is right now in the books. Fair is fair. It doesn't matter if you like the law or not. There's certain laws right now that I don't like that are on the books, but we got to follow it. I can't say that we shouldn't follow it until we change it. You got people like AOC and others talking about, well, some laws aren't just like slavery. It's like, man, come on. Don't compare people coming over here voluntarily, breaking into the country, endangering people, taking money, all that from American citizens to involuntary servitude. It ain't the same thing. If you hop across the border voluntarily, then that's your own fault. You did that. You knew it was illegal before you did it, but you did it anyway. Now you have to go back to where you came. They're talking about open borders, but do they really want that? Understand this. If there was open borders totally, there'd be no more country. None whatsoever. You're talking about, if we got 325 million people right now, what if we have 500 million, 450 million, 600 million people in the country? That's too many people. You already got a lot of crowded metro areas like San Francisco, New York. Imagine if you had double the people in these areas, homeless, speaking different languages. Tower of Babel, like I said in my video, Tower of Babel. The problem with Tower of Babel, well, one of the main issues was all the different languages that were being spoken. Too much multiculturalism. It causes confusion. That's where the word Babel comes from. When people are just talking, you can't understand what's being said because it's Babel. Different languages spoken at the same time. If you're hearing French, German, English, Swahili, Mandarin, Japanese, all kind of European, if you're hearing all of that spoken at once, you're not going to understand what's happening. It's too much to process. You don't want that for a country. You want one language, one kind of culture, and have everybody be based on that. We have little subcultures here in America, but when we go across the pond, we're all American to foreigners. If I were to go to UK, I'm an American, the same as anybody else in the chat that's an American. That's how it should be. Speaking English, you're an American. That's what it is. That's how it's got to be. But yeah, you don't want to have double the population in America. Too many people. We got homeless people on the streets right now. Homeless veterans. We have elderly people that are becoming homeless. Food insecurity is creeping up in certain pockets of people. Although we're doing well economically, there are still certain areas that are historically not doing well. Until we can tackle that, we can't be trying to add more people onto that. It doesn't make any sense. China, try to go to China. I was watching something today. They were talking about the border between Hong Kong and China. There's a border wall. It's security. It's high tech. You can't even, the border's so secure that it took one guy 2 hours to get through. And technically, Hong Kong is China. So to go from China to China is a border. But to go from Mexico to U.S., we can't have a border. It doesn't make any sense. North Korea, South Korea, oh my goodness. You're talking about heavy security. Try to go across that DMZ. Just traipse across it like it ain't nothing going on, please. Or try to escape try to go from China to North Korea or vice versa and see what happens. Try to go to Iran, aka Persia. Just walking, just traipsing across from Afghanistan or somewhere like it ain't nothing going on, and see what happens. Matter of fact, try to go from Afghanistan to China or India to China, or China to India. There's certain parts of India that you can't really get into from other parts of India, or even from India to Pakistan. But in America, we're racist to have a wall or a border between us and some other country. It makes no sense. Yeah, hey, if people want to speak different languages, that's okay. You can be multilingual in America, but the one language we all speak is English. So if I'm in the store, I'm at the cashier stand, I'm the cashier, and you got a person coming through the line speaking a different language, I'm like, look, I can't help you. English, that's it. If you can't communicate, like, go to Japan without speaking Japanese. Good luck trying to get some service. Good luck trying to get around the country. Some may speak some English, but if you got to know some Japanese, you got to know konnichiwa and arigato a little bit, something. If you don't know that, you're going to have a hard time. That should be the way it is here in America. It shouldn't be like, oh, we adapt to you. No, you're in our country, you adapt to us. If I go to Mexico, I need to speak Spanish. If I go to, if I go to Germany, I need some Guten Tag, something in my repertoire to get around. Now, a lot of them speak English, but you understand what I'm saying. I should be able to speak the language of people that, if I go to China, it's the same thing. Learn a little bit of Mandarin. Hong Kong, a little bit of Canto. If I go to Africa somewhere, whatever they're speaking there, I need to be able to communicate with them some kind of way so I can understand what's happening and so they can as well. It's very simple. But we'll talk about all that in just a moment. I'll get to the calls. Let me see. Exactly, during the 1804, you ain't going to just start talking Serbo-Croatian at people. You're in an English-speaking country. You break out a whole different language. It's like, what's that? I don't understand what you're saying. Speak English, please. And if you can't, then I can't help you. So simple. Yeah, Singapore, they speak English. Or they speak that Chinglish. No racist. Same thing in the Philippines. They speak Chinglish and Tagalog and Spanish. Reparations is just, it could be government control. It could be that. But just the idea of it is from two different camps. From the political camp, it's a campaign promise, trying to get some more votes. From the regular normie citizen, it's just a pipe dream they're chasing. Hopefully one day I get some money. Hopefully one day I get paid. That's what it's about for them. But for your politicians, it's all about a campaign promise. And if they were to actually give it, it would be some strings attached for sure. It wouldn't just be, here's your check and that's it. It'd be some strings attached for 100% certain. And the thing about it, reparations, who's going to get paid? That's the elephant in the room nobody wants to address. You got some people that are for reparations, and I've talked to them, and then I always ask the question, how are we going to determine who gets paid the money? You got people like Sean King that'll say, hey, I'm black, I need a check too, although he is white as snow. So are we going to do DNA tests? Now, who's going to pay for the DNA test? And what percentage of sub-Saharan African DNA must you have in order to get your check? And how did we know that you've been here since slavery, or that both of your family members, like your mother and your father, have to have roots that go all the way back to a slave ship? How are we going to track that? A lot of black folks don't even know who their dad is, let alone who their great-great-great-great-great-great-grandparents are. So it's unrealistic at best. And it's just a flat-out lie at worst from politicians, and a flat-out pipe dream that'll never happen from regular normies at worst. Brazilian American Patriotic Soldier says, why else Latins not blamed for ADOS? We did it. No cash. Hey, I'm not really sure what the question is there, but thank you for your donation. The whole thing about reparations and slavery is all about the white man's fault. So it doesn't matter if Hispanics had black slaves or if Native Americans had black slaves, or if blacks in Africa had black slaves, or if Arabs had black slaves. That's unimportant. It's all about just trying to get money from the white man, who some people look at as superior. You know, people say they hate white supremacy, but they put white folks on the pedestal, and on that pedestal, they throw rocks because they're envious. They want what they have. So this is a way to get what they have. That's why I'm not interested in that. I'm not an envious person. I know I can do things on my own and generate a life for myself and others. I don't need to have, you know, the government steal from somebody else to give to me. And then the thing about it is, it's dumb because it would not be for somebody else. If the money came from the government, it'd come from me. It'd come from my own pocket. You understand what I'm saying? So it doesn't make any sense for reparations to happen because it come from my own pocket. It'd come from the tax revenue. I pay taxes, therefore, it's from my own pocket. So I'm going to pay the government to pay me some money. How does it make any sense? It's like a what do you call it? Like a Ponzi scheme or something. One of those, you know, one of those little scams like Primerica. Hey, if you bring in 3 people and get them to pay X amount of money, you can pay X amount of money. So I got to pay money to get into the program. Then I got to pay them, or they like, I got to pay money to get into it. They got to pay to get into it. I get some of their money, but really it's some of my own money given back to me. And the people that set up the scheme to begin with get most of the money. So it's silly. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, it's a straight scam. And I'm not into scams personally. Thank you to Pappy Ross, who says they're freeloading. Hey, some people do want to freeload, but thank you for your donation. Oh, look, China is going to take over. China's already taken over. China has so much of a stranglehold on the world. It's not even funny. And their kids, they're raising like hyper brilliant people. And if you're going to compete in the world against that, how can you compete? How can you compete against that type of the work ethic, the knowledge, the ability, the skill? How can you compete against that? You got people right now in college in America complaining about having a safe space, complaining about their college professors being too mean. Like, come on, man. How are you going to compete in the world like that? Over in China, they don't care nothing about that. That your feelings don't matter. Like, all of that is unimportant. Let's get this money. Let's get this work. Let's get these phones built. Let's get these toys built. I need you to get that iron built in 15 seconds or less. And if you can't, you're going to get 1,000 lashes. All that kind of stuff is going. How are you going to compete against that when you're being baby as an adult? I'm seeing some videos online of these college kids. They're babies. I was acting like that when I was like 4 years old. You got 18-year-olds who have not had any kind of maturation process. No living as a toddler, a little kid, big kid, preteen, teenager. It's like they stayed, they didn't progress. They stayed as an infant throughout their entire youth. Rather than growing into a young man or woman, they're a perpetual child, a perpetual infant. How are you going to compete against anybody in the world, especially China, with that kind of population? Now, that's not all young people, but there are a certain group of people that are young who behave like that. It's weird. You have kind of a broad range. You have those that are very, very mature, much more mature than I was. It's a lot of them, much more, in my opinion, than there were when I was a youngin'. But you also have the flip side, which are the perpetual children, the babies that will never grow up. You know, it's a weird thing. Oh yeah, look, what's that? Offseft? Hopefully I ain't butcher your name. The Ancestry.com, 23andMe, they're giving all that to the feds. When there's a crime that happens and you fit the description, they're gonna say, hey, 23andMe. Here's a subpoena. We're going to need that DNA information right now because we got a crime scene. We got DNA on the body. So what's up? Let's get that DNA. And what are they going to do? They're going to comply. They don't want to have the IRS on their back. They don't want to have the FBI on their back. They're going to comply. I think even Apple complied because of that whole kerfuffle with the encryption on the phone. Oh, we can't break it. I bet you can break it, says the FBI. So if Apple may or may not fold under that kind of pressure with all that money they have, with all the power they have, 23andMe, is that a really big company? I mean, come on, they're going to fold like a cheap rug, like a lawn chair all day long. But let's get to the calls. You guys know the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. And I thank y'all for being here. And again, if you're just now coming into the show, please like the video for me. That does a great service. It helps the show become more visible. And if you are not subscribed, please do so. Oh, shout out to Twisted Image 03 who says, what do you think about liberal networks cutting off the Trump rally? Not surprised at all. Not surprised. I'm surprised they showed it at all. You know, to even highlight it a little bit, I was surprised. But nah, they don't want to see that. They're more interested in, I'm not really sure what's going on now. Oh, they're interested in fake stories about Russia. They're interested in anything that they can talk about that sees Trump in a negative light. You know, when they got all these people, one thing that they don't want to show you as far as liberal networks in the Trump rally are the people that are there who are not white. You had Blacks for Trump, Deep. They had this whole row of nothing but Blacks for Trump. You know, all different races, all different nationalities, ethnicities, men, women, young, old, in between, different countries, all over the world. And there's no problems. Everybody's having harmony. They don't want you to see that. They want you to look at Trump and anybody that supports him in a negative way. So you can't show positive imagery of a rally that's going very well because that kind of flies against their narrative. It doesn't really work out well for them. But thank you for your donation. Thank you to Will Redding who says AOC is done. She was defeated by a garbage disposal. That's hilarious. Thank you for that. I think I got all the super chat. So let's get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Let's see if Skype wants to load up for me. Because you know how Skype is. It does whatever it wants to do whenever it wants to do it. So we're going to see what happens with that. All righty. Let's see here. Okay. I think we're good. I think we are good money. Let's go ahead and get it started. MSNBC 13. That's hilarious. Shout out to you for that. Mike from Queens, what's happening?
What's up, Anthony? How you doing?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
You know, I tell you, occasional Cortex. If she was in the mob, she would have been thrown in jail already, because she would have gotten caught on so many wiretaps.
Oh yeah, you think so?
Yeah, just talking.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, singing like a bird, they definitely would have got her on that for sure.
Yeah, and knowing her, she would have definitely became a snitch.
Oh yeah, anytime. I mean, a little bit of pressure, she'll snitch instantly. It ain't gonna be no, oh, you gotta convince her and trap her. Nah, just go ahead and put a little bit of pressure and she'll fold.
Yeah, well, that's enough for her. But you know, I I laugh at all the fake polls that I see. Bernie actually posted one up on his thing. I think after Trump had the rally last night. Yes, I beat Donald Trump in 42-38. And I'm saying to myself, when you see people at these rallies, I was talking with a friend of mine down in Orlando this morning, and he was telling me he requested to get a ticket to try to get in. He couldn't even get a ticket. There was 125,000 people that requested tickets to get into the arena down there.
Yeah.
So how is it? I still don't understand why the mainstream media continues to bake up these polls. They still haven't learned their lesson.
Well, you know, the thing about it is it's all they have. They can't do anything else. I mean, they would like to be able to tell the truth, I suppose, at certain times. But if they don't do what they're doing, that'll just give Trump an easier path to victory. You know, because like really what they're doing right now is kind of like voter suppression. They feel like if they don't do it, it'll be easier for Trump to win. So, yeah, that's all they have. They know that it really doesn't work because Trump won, but this is their best option.
And it really is a farce, because you look at last weekend, these anti-Trump rallies, from all these far left organizations. Nobody's showing up to these marches. What, you had one in Portland, Oregon? They showed I seen a clip from that. There was 30 people at the rally. I mean, you can't be taken seriously if you're having 30 people.
Yeah, not at all. That's not even the rally. That's more like a small gathering. I've seen parties at people's houses that have more people than that. Just regular everyday Joes. So if you're on TV all the time and you pulling in 30 people, I mean, what's really going on?
Anthony, seriously, you have like what, 280,000 subs on YouTube?
Yeah.
That's what, 6 football stadiums filled to capacity, 7 football stadiums filled to capacity.
That's right.
I'm just using it as a comparison to, as a comparison to these people with their anti-Trump rallies.
Right. I mean, it's like nobody there. And then on top of that, the one I saw with my man from Fox News, Lawrence Jones, black guy, and then he's going around asking questions with his Fox News microphone, and then the one guy told him, "Hey, go back to Fox News and pick some more cotton." Now that part didn't get caught on camera, but he did say, "Oh, you're going back to Kenya because Trump's sending you back." It was like, wait a minute, hold on here. I thought this was the tolerant crowd, the anti-racist crowd, but you're a white guy telling me that at this anti-Trump rally. So who should I really be protesting? Whose side should I really be on? If the objective is to try and convince me to not like Trump and to get him impeached, you're not doing a very good job.
Yeah, there's a meme going around. I don't know if you've seen it the last couple of days on Twitter, where it's Trump and he's got a mouthful of gold teeth, and it says, "When people accuse you of being a racist, pass the First Step Act, the First Step Act, $100 million in urban revitalization." The lowest black unemployment rate in the country's history, and he's smiling with the grill in his teeth.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that. That's hilarious. That's an hilarious meme. Hey, but it's dead on the money. I'm like, hey, if Trump is racist, he's the worst racist ever. I mean, and it'd be hilarious if one day he came out with some gold teeth in his mouth for real, like at a rally. That'd just be the icing on the cake for me. Well,
you know what it is too. They're trying to liken it, because what's been hot in the news right now the last 2 weeks since Netflix released that documentary about the Central Park fire was that during that period of time, as you know, Trump had taken out an ad in a newspaper, saying that these kids should be executed. And I mean, knowing Trump, it was probably just a PR stunt. And listen, those kids were still guilty. I mean, they might have not committed the crime, but they were still guilty of loitering and I think vandalism and other things.
I mean, the thing about it, they were engaged in a lot of other stuff that night. They got exonerated of that one charge, but it didn't change the other things that they got convicted for. People just seem to forget that it wasn't just one thing. I think some kind of technicality where they had to get released and they were able to sue and get some money because of the one guy that came forward about the rape charge. But nah, they weren't just, kids that were innocent and didn't do anything. They were most certainly criminals that night, that day, whenever it happened. It just so happened that the thing that they were able to get off with allowed them to get out of jail.
Yeah, and look at and de Blasio was the one who settled with them financially. I mean, Giuliani and Bloomberg had kept fighting them and going back to court. And during de Blasio's first term, he settled with them. He rolled over like a dog and settled with them within his first year, I think, of his administration.
That's right.
So I'm just going to leave you off with this. I think this whole thing with reparations is a joke. It's disingenuous. Michael Savage on his podcast today was talking about it. He was really fired up today, and he made a great point. He says, "How come people of West Indian descent, I guess people from the Caribbean, Guyana, Trinidad, those islands and countries and whatnot," he goes, "How come they have the same income on par with whites in America, as compared to blacks, American-born blacks?"
Well, I mean, really what it boils down to is you have people that come to the country that are skilled and talented. That's all that it is. I mean, And that's all that really matters is your skill and your talent. Your race is irrelevant at this point in time.
Yeah, skills pay the bills.
That's it. That's it. I mean, I know guys that have been to jail, felons. I'm talking about violent felons, black guys that look just like me, my skin tone, that make six figures now legitimately. So people talk about, oh, it's the racism, it's the white man holding me back. No, it's yourself holding you back. If you don't have any skills, if you can't read at all at age 35, it's your fault that you're not advancing in life. It's not the white man's fault.
No, and this is good, for Trump to do what he did with signing the criminal justice reform and helping people to get back on their feet and making them something of themselves.
That's right, absolutely.
You have to apply yourself. I mean, that's what it comes down to. You don't. I know plenty of people that didn't go to the best schools and turned out okay.
100%. I know plenty of them. People just got to apply themselves, especially in this country. There's so many ways to be able to make it. If you're just languishing in poverty and not doing anything for yourself, you really don't have to. You can't really blame too many people as an adult.
Yes. All right. Well, listen. You've given me enough time, so I'll talk to you soon and have a good night.
All right. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Got it. Good night.
All right. Thank you to Mike from Queens for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Yeah. The West Indians, the Nigerians, they come over here, they're educated, they have skills, they got talent. That's it. Now, it ain't the same way back home where they come from, but you got the talented people that have talent, that have skills, they're going to rise up. And they're going to be the ones that run a society, that have the good jobs, that have good businesses for themselves. That's how that goes. And it's really a meritocracy in this country, especially. Those who have the ability to make some out of themselves, they're going to do it. And if you don't, you're not. Even if you're like Trump and you're giving some money at the beginning, you still got to be able to do something with that money. You got people that win the lottery all the time and go broke instantly. I'm seeing some stuff on TV. People winning the lottery. They get $1 million and buy a house for like $500,000. I mean, stupid stuff. They buy the house in cash, $500,000. So all the money is gone because they had to pay taxes on the $1 million. And they got 500 left, so all the money is gone that quick. That's what happens when you don't understand how to control your assets, how to make money. And it all comes from being intelligent, skilled, and educated. Those are the things that matter in this country, okay? That's it. And even if you're not intelligent, skilled, or educated, you got to be a little creative and figure out a way to make money that way. Because I've seen plenty of people that aren't necessarily, I've seen disabled people, mentally disabled people make money. People that got cerebral palsy make money. So all the excuses, I'm not trying to hear any excuses at the end of the day, but let me get to the next call. And thank you to everybody for being here. Please give me a thumbs up on the video. The likes are free. Let's get to 810 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Control your Hello?
Hello, can you hear me?
Speak to Anthony.
You're speaking to him, and turn the speakers on in the background for me, please.
I turned it down, Anthony.
All righty. So what's going on?
Hey, well, first of all, I've been trying to make a donation, and I've never made a donation on a show like this before, so it had the wrong ID number and stuff like that. So if there's any way somebody can contact me afterwards, there's a number I can call. I'd like to do that after the show. And wanted to say I love your show. I've been watching you for probably about half a year now. And I wanted to ask you, I don't know if I'm going off the edge or not, but I just think things are so much worse than what most people, like a lot of people think the Democrats are just dumb or they just got a different agenda. I think everything's intentional. I really believe that these people were trying to take the country down from the inside out. I think it's all about, the globalists. And I think if Hillary would have got in, I think, we would be on our way to the UN and the one world order kind of thing. And, a lot of people don't want to talk about that because it sounds like conspiracy theory, but I think we need to because I think it's reality. I think this is way more evil what's been going on than what most people are willing to talk about. And I was wondering, what do you think about that?
Well, I mean, there's a lot there. I mean, do you have a specific question? You're talking about like the Democrats, like how bad things are.
Right, right.
Well,
Like it's an agenda, I think, and it's more than just trying to get more votes. I think they're really trying to destroy the country. Not all of them, just that main, the super rich group of people that some people refer to as, the Illuminati or those people. You can call them whatever they want, but they're just, I think, people that are manipulating and trying to do that. And just wondering what you thought if you were that far down the road as I am, or not quite.
Well, I think there's definitely some people out there that want to see the country go in a different direction. They want to have the globalism take over. That's definitely a thing that's going on. I think that it definitely can be prevented. It definitely can be stopped. And I think that Hillary Clinton was definitely one of the leaders of the pack. When she was just, I think, Secretary of State, she was saying that if she were to ever get elected, this might have been like in 2012, if she were to ever get elected, she would invade Iran immediately, right away. And
Right.
that's pretty much the kind of vibe I get from a lot of these people on the left. And some on the right, too. This is why they were reluctant to have Trump get in office. There was a concentrated effort to get him out or to not have him actually succeed, because if he were to succeed, then they know they couldn't control him. He has his money, and he's not part of their squad. He was not appointed to his seat in politics. He was not, lifted up through the ranks. He got there on his own, so they can't control, like a bull in a china shop, and it kind of puts a monkey wrench in their plan, so to speak. So I'm glad a guy like him was able to get in to prevent what the left were trying to do.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, who knows what's going to happen? But I believe he's the real deal. I think I think you're. I don't know if you for sure, but I was under the assumption you're a Christian. I'm a born again Christian, and I think God's got his hand on him. And whether I'm just still very afraid though for what can happen. I mean, even if we get 4 more years of him, if people don't get their heads out of the sand, most younger people, they don't have a clue the price that's been paid for the rights that they have, that's allowing them to act and do the things that they're doing right now, the way that they're acting, and, all the stuff that's going on with these younger people. It's just blows my mind, and it's just ignorance. They just, they don't know the price that's been paid. They don't know, and they'll be the first ones that'll be screaming bloody murder when it really happens, and those rights are gone, and they're going down the tube right with everybody else that they thought was on the opposite side. And I just really don't know how we're going to, I think we'll be fine as long as Trump's in there, and I think he's doing a great job, and I love the direction we're taking. But unless we find a way to get these people to wake up and to really realize, I'm really worried once Trump's gone. I mean, I think the Democrats will find a way to get back in. And I don't know if you have some kind of plan or what you're thinking about that, but
I think the main thing we can do as Americans is just keep the same kind of energy we have right now for patriotism, for conservatism, and just bring it forward regardless of who's going to be in office. Trump can't be in there forever, and whoever's going to be the next person, we got to have the same enthusiasm for them, the same zeal for our country as we had under Trump. Just keep the party going and don't let up. Because we've had people before that have been similar to Trump. You had Reagan before. You've had other people that have come in and have done what he is doing. So we just got to keep on going forward and not just let our guard down because we got one guy that we like.
Right. I agree. One last question. What's your thoughts on this new abortion stuff where they're wanting, I mean, I'm against abortion totally, but it just blows my mind with these people that are, I mean, I couldn't even say the words. I don't know how they can't just be ashamed of themselves, to say that they want to kill their own children after they've already been born, and they're proud of it. It just blows my mind. It just reminds me of, how crazy things were as Sodom and Gomorrah and stuff like that. It just seems like we've really gone down to a place that I don't know. It just seems like it's a lot worse, and that's just one example. There's, the way the way this abortion thing's going right now. I struggle. Like, what am I supposed to do? You know, I'm not defending these children. I mean, we go to war and we you know, our soldiers kill people to defend our country and defend us and our rights. It's like, I feel like that's where we're at right now. It's like, we got to start deciding if we're going to be willing to do whatever it takes to defend these children. I mean, are we really just going to sit back and keep letting these, you know, hundreds of thousands of children be murdered every year and just keep talking about it? When does the talking stop?
Well, I mean, we do have laws that are coming into effect right now. You got Alabama, Georgia, and other states that are passing laws that are going to basically outlaw abortion. That's happening right now. So it's much more than talk. In some states, they're going in a different direction. And the best thing we can do is really vote, because what's going to happen is Roe v. Wade is going to get challenged in the Supreme Court. Now, if we have a Supreme Court that is the way it's supposed to be, in my opinion, mostly conservative, we'll be able to overturn it. We'll be able to bring it back to a point where it goes to the states. And then at that point, certain states are able to outlaw it totally. And hopefully we'll be able to get one day where the entire country has it outlawed. That's the best way to go about it. I'm not really for, going to the streets as of yet. I don't think it's really that bad. We're making progress. We got things happening now. And I think we need to go this direction and keep a civil society where we still have laws and rules that everybody follows. And if we don't like laws and certain rules, we change the laws and we change the rules.
Right, but this is murder we're talking about. I mean, I don't know if you agree, but to me,
I understand.
It's murder, you know. And it's like if I had a neighbor that was out and they were about to kill him, somebody was about to shoot him or kill him, I know I'm gonna go out and do whatever I can, and I carry a concealed weapon and I have guns, and if I don't ever want to have to do something like that, but I know if something was happening outside right now, I would have to stand up for my neighbor. So what's the difference? These are, if anything, they're even more innocent and more, they can't help themselves, So while we're voting and talking, these children are being killed, in lots of them. I really struggle with that. I'm not saying that I'm going to do something or not. I just struggle.
I understand what you mean, but I got to get some more calls. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay. Thank you so much. You have a great evening.
All right, now. Thank you.
Bye-bye, Anthony.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Hey, the best way to really go about it is voting. You're making some headway right now in different states where it's becoming outlawed. You want to go to the street and do that. That's, I think we can go about it through the voting process. It's not been in the country for that long as far as, Roe v. Wade. It's been about 40 years. You can put it into that the right way. Now, if we don't get to a point where, then that's something different. But we're making some strides right now, and I'm optimistic about that. But let me get to my next call here. All right, calling on the line, 617. 617.
Hey, what's going on, man? It's me, Ivan.
All right, what's happening?
What's going on with those callers, man? You got to educate those callers, man. You got to get them educated, man. Like the previous caller, again, was saying that this country's good. If Hillary would have been elected, the country was going down the hill. But it doesn't give any examples how it's going to go down the hill.
Okay.
I don't know what they mean. I don't know what they mean going down the hill. I mean, we already passed that going down the hill in 2008 in October when the financial crash. We have a massive bank failure. In 2009, when Obama took over office, we lost over 1 million jobs.
So do you think that if Hillary were to be elected, we would be doing better as a country?
We will be doing okay. I think our financials will be strong with the.
The question was, if Hillary were to be elected, will we be doing better today?
We're doing better. They're pretty much the same.
How you
same
figure?
Condition, same economic condition that we're doing now.
So would it be better or no?
Like I said, the same economic condition.
So we would not be doing better.
What do you mean? So how much worse will we be doing?
Nah, I'm asking you a question. I'm asking you, would we be better under Hillary Clinton? It's a yes or no question. It's very simple.
We will be better because we won't be as divided as we are today. I don't think so.
Is that right? So how do you think we would not be as divided as we are today? In your opinion?
I mean, you have somebody, you have the leader of the free world. I mean, their leader saying, for example, let me give you an example. When the NFL players were kneeling, calling them SOBs, I mean, that will cause divides in the country. If you have somebody call them, when you announce your candidacy as president, calling people rapists and call them all kind of names, that will create a problem, right? I mean,
okay. So
you heard any president saying that before?
Let's respond.
Mention me one president saying that.
Sir,
I mean,
listen. Let's respond. Let's respond to the first thing about the SOP comment. I guess that comment you're saying was causing division, but the problem with what you said is the division was caused by Colin Kaepernick and others who were on the field kneeling, because a lot of NFL football fans are very patriotic. They love the country. So by him doing that, that was causing division right there. I'm not done. I'm not done.
Okay.
I'm not to talk. Some people appreciated what he did and some didn't. That causes division right there. So you can't say, oh, Trump caused a division. The division already existed. He was just voicing, he was just voicing the way a lot of Americans already felt. He didn't add anything new. He was just voicing the way a lot of Americans. And then in the second, wait, sir, I'm not done. I'm not done talking. I'm not done talking.
Okay.
And the second thing was about the rapists and murderers. It was very clear what he was talking about. He was talking about the illegal immigrants and the bad people that come over there. He was speaking to immigrants in that room. He was saying, we're not getting you and you and you, good people, honest people, hardworking people. We're getting people that come over here with diseases, people that are gang banging, human traffickers. We're getting the trash from foreign nations rather than good people, which is what we need in the country, not bad people. It's very simple. So he was not. He was talking about. Hold on. I'm almost done. I'm almost done.
Okay.
He was not talking about Mexicans in general. He was talking about the bad illegal immigrants. But go ahead.
No, he said when Mexico brings people. That's not what he said.
No, I explained, sir. I explained what happened. I explained what happened, and what I said was true.
Okay.
So when he was in the room, did he not say, we don't get you, we don't get you, we don't get you? Did he say that? Yes or no?
He said when Mexico
No. Did he say that? Wait, no, sir. Did he say that? Yes or no?
That's not what he said, though.
So you're saying I'm lying? That it didn't happen?
Well, you are, because you're not
okay, all right.
being honest.
Well, I'll be able to prove it to you, but go ahead.
Okay, so just play the video now on your thing, and then
we don't have that much.
that.
Look, sir, we don't got that much time. Go ahead, say what you got to say.
Okay, we don't have that much time, and the other guy have like half an hour. We don't have that much time. Hello?
I mean, are you going to continue or not? Because if you ain't
I'm going to continue. So and then with the Kaepernick thing, right? Do you think by saying these things, it is inflammatory things, heal things or make things worse?
Nah, it doesn't do anything but just highlight what's happening.
No. Make things worse or heal them.
It doesn't.
Obama gave a great response to that healed the process. Actually, less people were kneeling when Obama left office. And because he said that more of them started kneeling. So you can't say that the North divided the country even more.
What?
When Trump said get those SUV out of the field, if I'm one of the fellow owners, right? Things did not heal. Things got worse. So he divided the country.
So how did things get worse? I don't understand.
Dude, if you come and say, you could even see yourself, more NFL players were kneeling, no less. So that things got worse, right?
I mean, nah, I don't see how things got worse. Like, really, what happened after that? Hold on. Wait, sir. Sir, I'm gonna answer your question. Now, what happened was, after a little while, when Trump said that, the NFL made some changes to the rules, and you couldn't do that kneeling stuff
because
anymore.
They didn't want the game to take the attention from all those guys kneeling. They didn't want that. So they're like, we losing advertisers where more people are kneeling, and you're upsetting more of the fans.
But shortly after, sir, look,
the
sir.
NFL owner said what Trump said was not right.
Shortly after, shortly after Trump said what he said, the NFL owners made some changes, and the kneeling stuff was. I'm not done. You're muted. I'm not done. You're muted. Shortly after Trump said what he said, there was no more kneeling. The kneeling came to an end, and then everything was all good. We were able to get back to football. Unfortunately, a lot of people already left the NFL because of what had happened before Trump said what he said. See, that was the whole thing. The NFL was losing money as a result of that 10% one year. The NFL was already losing before Trump said what he said. After Trump said what he said, it put pressure on them to make a change and fix what was happening. And it also gave them kind of a green light to do it. But
look, I want to move on from that. Let's talk about reparation. I think the hearing, it was all garbage. Because they should have experts. They should have Professor Gates. They should have Professor Thompson. They should have Professor Claude Anderson in the hearing, that these people that have high level of expertise and are doing a ton of research when it comes to slavery, Jim Crow, the negative impact, the amount of wealth that black people are lost, all the stuff. And instead to have
your guy was there. Ta-Nehisi Coates was there.
I think it was one kid. I think is from Columbia University, supposed to be a Democrat, but shouldn't be. Look, reparation should not be about politics. Now I know that the Democrats took that under the wings to get the votes. I agree with that. I mean, that's messed up. That should have never happened. Even this black Republican from South Carolina, the senator, I can't remember his name. Scott said that was all a theater, a political theater, and they shouldn't have never happened. That's what I'm saying. They should have bring experts. Those guys are no experts. Those guys they don't know anything about that.
Well, Ta-Nehisi Coates, he's not an expert. He wrote a book on reparations.
The NFL player, I think that's who it was?
Ta-Nehisi Coates. Do you know who that is?
I don't know.
Okay, well, Ta-Nehisi Coates wrote a book. He wrote a book on reparations. He has a whole book. His whole academic career. He's a liberal guy too. Wrote a book on the subject. He spoke at the actual hearing, so it did have at least one expert.
I didn't hear him, but like I said, all should be experts, not those guys.
Well, he was an expert.
But so
you got to get your facts right.
Huh?
Yeah, you got to get your facts right.
I'm just talking about one, but the vast majority should be expert, not just people that just trying to promote their own thing, promote their own agenda.
Okay, so like, what's your point here?
Okay, go on.
Sir, we live. We don't got time for the gaps. So come on, let's get it. Or we got to move on to the next call. All right, we don't got time. I had to hang up. Thank you for the call. You can't be like, oh no, is your mom coming to the room and say, hey, time for dinner? We don't got time for all that, man. We got to keep on going. But let me get to the next call. 240, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
It's your boy JB. What's up, brother?
What's going on, man?
Nothing much, never day, never dollar, man. The last caller, man. Why does he call here just to argue with you and then not prove facts?
It's like he calls every day to get wrecked.
I don't understand. It's like him calling into CNN and trying to prove a point. I'm like, and there's no point.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Did you hear about Cracker Barrel turning away that preachers that didn't like gay people, didn't preach to gay people? You know what I'm talking about? You heard about that? You heard about that story?
I think that was here in Tennessee. The guy. Yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah, I saw that story. That was locally.
Yeah, I'm saying, see, that's a dangerous precedent you're setting right there. Because what happens is, what you're saying is, oh, if I don't like something you say, I don't have to serve you. But you can't do that if you have a business, because guess what? All money is good money. You're in business.
Yeah, pretty much.
And the thing about it is, when you set things up for feelings over your money, you're gonna lose. Just like that. Remember that coffee house that was around when they said that they just charged the men a 2%, 18% more taxes. You heard about that?
Hold on, what happened now?
It was a coffee house in what was it, Toronto, Canada. They was charging men like
yeah. I remember that. No, the man tax. Yeah.
I'm like, okay, so like because of the women's pay gap, and the pay gap has been despunked a lot of times. People understand the pay gap is because men work more hours. That's why we make more than women. We're not, because we have less feelings and less things tied into what we do. We'll work 90 hours and just get the work done, and most women don't. They just don't want to work that much, and they shouldn't if a man's around. Am I right? Absolutely.
I mean, at a certain point, you do have gender roles that exist, and men do the majority of the work, if not all the work, and the women take care of the house and the kids. That's, generally how it is all over the world. So, I mean, if you go to Africa, Middle East, Asia, they ain't talking about no gender pay gap or nothing like that. They're just living their life, and that's it.
Oh, your girl's going to jail. Oh, Mario, she's going to jail. ABL, I think she's going to jail.
Who?
Omar, what's her name? Omar.
Oh, Ilhan Omar?
Ilhan Omar, she's going to jail, I think. I think she's going to jail. I think so.
What did she do?
She with tax fraud, and her husband filed dual taxes together. They were supposed to be divorced, and she filed with a new husband.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah. Also, and I also saw that picture you posted about Kanye West and Kate. I mean, on my bag, Bruce Jenner.
yeah. Shout out to
Father's Day.
Yeah, the Father's Day. Hey, you know what? My thing is, I don't care what Bruce gender identify as. He's still a man and still produce a bunch of kids. So, hey,
exactly.
He's still a dad. Ain't no mom. Ain't no Mother's Day. No, sir. You are
exactly
a man.
Exactly. You will always be a man. Your cells say it. Your gender, your face says it.
Them big hands.
The old you says it. Exactly. And you wear a size 12. We're going with a dick. Let me shut up. You better be quiet. I can't say that. Can't say that. Politically correct. Oh, and good luck, ABL. You're pushing the 3,000 mark. 300,000, baby. You're almost there.
Yeah, I'm getting there soon. So hopefully we get that like in the next probably like 2 or 3 weeks. That's what I'm aiming for.
Can I ask you something?
What's up?
Have you noticed that a lot of these so-called, like, I like O'Shea Duke, but his message is getting a little tainted now. I know that's you picked up on that vibe. O'Shea Duke's message getting tainted more.
I'm not sure what you mean. Tainted how?
Just the way he's addressing certain issues in the black community. It's coming from a harsher way, not like a biased way. It's from, this is how I feel and this is what it's going to. Have you noticed that about a lot of the black produced content?
I mean, I don't know. I guess it can seem like that sometimes because sometimes guys get into a mode where they just, I don't know, they just kind of get influenced by other things on the outside of what they would normally do, and then they start thinking that way. Like, that's why I don't watch a lot of people that do political content, because I like to be able to talk about a topic, have it be straight, my thoughts 100%. When you're watching other people, sometimes their thoughts pollute your mind. So that could be going on. You can watch other people trying to get some ideas. And you're talking about a topic, and you don't even realize that you're speaking some of the other person's thoughts. It's not all the way 100% your information. Like, your mind has been tainted by other people. So that could be what's going on.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. ABL, once again, brother, man, look at you, the great explainer. But yeah, man, it's getting crazy nowadays, man. It's just getting totally crazy. Like that Cracker Barrel thing, it should never happen like that. And I tell you, said a day as president that you can't come back from.
Right.
Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And you also hear about Donald Trump in 24 hours made $20 million in campaign funds. You heard about that?
I didn't even hear about that. That's interesting, though.
Yeah, I was Ben Shapiro saying in 24 hours he raised.
Hey, I don't see how anybody. You know, they're talking about these polls saying that Trump is behind. It's like, how? I mean, the crowds and the interest and the enthusiasm is unmatched. It's unmatched. Like, you go to these rallies, nobody on the left has anything like that. Ain't gonna be no Joe Biden rally where it's packed out the whole stadium. If you could pack out a Waffle House, I'd be surprised if you're Joe Biden.
Exactly. But that's what people don't understand. Is like what they're running on, people don't care about. Like you're trying to please 1%. I never understood that. Like how so many black African American men are saying, "What about the blames black people?" And I said, "Those are our replacement voters, you idiots. You don't see that they're trying to replace us. The Democratic Party is done with us."
Right, exactly. That's what they're trying to do, but people don't get it. They're not putting 2 and 2 together. But at a certain point, you got to, because if you don't, that's going to spell your doom.
Exactly. Like we were 13%. The Spanish Party is making up like 20%, 21%. They are making more babies than black people. You know what I'm saying? We're losing, and people just want to sit there and act like it's okay. It's okay. They're our friend. No, they're not. They're taking jobs. They're looting everything. You see what I'm saying? And especially in D.C. area, it's getting crazy out here.
Oh yeah, it's off the chain. Yeah, absolutely. All right, you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I heard you. Hey, ABL, have a good one, brother.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Hey, always a pleasure talking to ABL, man. Hey, see you Saturday, brother.
All right, then. Take care.
Peace, love, and joy, curd juice.
All right, peace.
All right, bye.
All right. Thank you to JB for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. And shout out to everybody calling in. If you guys don't know the number to call is 434-658-1220. It is always in a little ticker right here below me. It'll pop up eventually, and it's also in the description box. And what else we got? Thank you to, hold on one second. Thank you to Federal Reserve has committed treason for the donation, who says the immigration issue is not a product of the free market. It is a product of the progressive government policy and the welfare state. Tax equal theft. He also says the Trump economy is a failure. You don't cry to the Fed for low rates when the market is booming. Trump needs to stop lying about the economy. I mean, the market, like the Federal Reserve is always going to be, the interest rate issue is always going to be there. You can't really go based on that, in my opinion. That's a false measure of an economy, because that's a whole different issue right there. That's not really important. The economy, you got to judge by the number of jobs that are available and people that are actually able to produce money without it being from the federal government. That's just my opinion. But thank you to Lee Crow for the donation, who says, keep up the good work, dude. I most certainly will. Thank you for that. Thank you to GG73, who says, love this channel. And I finally noticed the bar to raise a donation. Well, I'm glad to notice that. And thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. Jonestown Autopsy says, Miss Trump looked fabulous last night in yellow. Yes, she did. Angelic is the word I would use. So shout out to Melania Trump and shout out Trump himself. A great rally last night. Wish I was there. And shout out to everybody that was there. Fantastic moment. Thank you to PJ Gamble, who says, why give them money? The Native Americans should get it. Hey, that's a discussion right there. Thank you for your donation. Shout out to a person who I cannot pronounce. It's like some Jewish letters. I don't know what that is. They say AOC already snitched on Shadi and Kuda. She'll snitch on all of Treyway. Hilarious. Thank you for their donation. Shout out to Pappy Ross, who says they're freeloading. I read that one. So shout out to everybody donating. I definitely appreciate you guys. And thank you to everybody watching. If you're just now tuning in, please give the video a thumbs up. Like it. The likes are free. The shares are free. Watching it is free. So thank you for that. But let me get to my next call. Uncle Reggie, what's happening?
What's going on, my man? How you doing?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
All right. Hey, I got in. This is the first ring I got in there. So I'm glad I just barely got my head on and my shirt on. Want me to take it off?
No, you good.
All right. Oh, man. How you been?
Everything's been good, man. Can't complain.
All right. We got a good show for you. Remember that?
Absolutely.
You remember that? That was back in the day. Okay. Did you check out this thing with Angela Merkel?
Yeah, when she was shaking on stage next to the what was that? The prime minister or president of some country in Europe.
Yeah, they were playing the national anthem there, and she started freaking out. Like, you know where I'm going with this?
Talking about looking like Hillary.
Yeah, looking like she got the kuru.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. She was saying she was dehydrated, but you know what? I give her some credit because she stood there and didn't collapse, didn't fall. If that were Hillary Clinton, she would have been on the ground instantly. Like one of the commercials where you get the little life lock and you fall, you can't get up. That would have been Hillary Clinton. But Merkel, she stood there and tried to keep it together and she didn't fall. So shout out to her.
All right. You ain't getting no feedback or nothing, are you?
No, you're fine. You get money. Don't even worry about it.
Hold on. I got action movie going on. I got Men in Black going on out there.
Okay.
Yeah. So she got this thing. You know, incidentally, I started the Hillary got the kuru disease thing many years ago.
Oh, you did?
I don't know if you knew that.
I didn't.
Yeah, I started that.
Oh, I had no idea. Learn something every day.
Yeah, she called me deplorable. I was wondering what the laughing thing was, so I started searching around. I found out this is laughing disease, and I started looking into it. I got a hold of somebody I know, and he had a bigger channel, and he did a whole video on it, and it went viral. So
okay.
That's how that's.
Yeah,
I did that one. You're welcome. All right. The Democrats they don't have a strategy, so they're going scorched earth on us, man. They're going scorched earth. Your last caller said, they're kind of used He's talking. I'm assuming he was talking about black people that they feel that they've used you and you rode that pony for all it's worth, and so they're importing all the illegals they can. So I think that's their policy, the scorched earth policy.
Yeah, they realize that they're losing the black vote, they're losing the black support. So now they got to pump in illegals. And you got people that, are black, or these white liberals and everybody else, Asian liberals, everybody, all liberals trying to support that. But it's like, you don't understand. It's not about humanitarianism or altruism. It's about trying to get power and money and votes. That's it. That's why they're bringing them in. They're trying to give them ID cards and letting them vote in small elections. The eventual goal is to say that no person is undocumented. Everybody's a citizen. If you're here, you can vote. That's going to be the eventual goal.
I think they have strategists working, but I don't think the goal is to get these people to vote. I think they already know they lost 2020. I think they already know this. They lost it. They're already lost. They have nothing to offer except radical reform, not reform, just basically upheaval. The only thing left that they have to offer is tearing up the Constitution and starting over again, and that's what they got. And so maybe this would work in 2024 or maybe 2030, but or 2028, but it's not going to work for 2020. So they're just like just basket case in the whole country, because this is what they do. This is what they did after back in 1956 when they first started with the immigration program after World War II. I can't remember the name of these guys, but they called them cowboys out of Mexico. And these guys came in, and they became like family to the farmers. They took them in, and then they wouldn't leave. So They had to make a policy, which is what the policy we have today is. And it's what happens when you work with somebody for years and years and years. They become like family, and you can't take that away. There's love there, but and it's sad to see them go. But when their visas were up after, I think it was like a 10-year program, something like that. They had like 10 years. But when you're on a farm for 10 years, you get to be like family. You're eating with these people every day, So you can't take that away. And then they had to go. And incidentally, that's how I came to be. My grandmother was one of those people.
Okay.
So my grandmother and she came up to Idaho, worked on a potato farm with my grandfather. And that's how I came to be.
Right.
Those were the laws back in the 40s and 50s. So there's that. This Kyle thing. This Kyle Kashuv?
Yeah.
Okay, now he messed up good. He messed up good. I did a little bit of reading into it. Apparently, it was like a contest to see who could say the craziest thing.
Yeah, it was just a bunch of kids just writing stuff in this document. It might have been some text messages, just stupid stuff that kids say sometimes. And then that got unearthed from a private conversation. It was made public, and then now that's enough to get him removed from college or to have his admission rescinded. I think that's excessive. He apologized for it, said it was wrong. He was a kid, 16 years old. It's not like Ralph Northam when he was 25 years old, who put in his yearbook publicly so everybody can see it, a picture of himself or somebody else in blackface and a Klan costume. I mean, he's untouched. There's nothing happened to him. But Cal is 16 and loses his college admission. I think it's unfair, and I think people just apply the rules differently depending upon who you are.
Yeah. Something my grandmother told me a long time ago when I was a little boy. She says, "What do you want to be?" I had a little noble thing, dreams. I want to be a veterinarian, or I want to be a fireman, or an astronaut. And she said, "Son, write your plans down in pencil and carry a big eraser, because God might have other plans for you. So you got to kind of roll with the punches." He screwed up. He said he was going to take a year off anyways to figure life out.
Okay.
So now he's going in a different direction. These are his words, not mine. Now he might go in a different direction. He's still going to pursue school and see where it goes. But he's still applying to colleges. But the ones he applied to, they overlap, and he can't go to those. He can't reapply to those colleges.
Okay.
He slumped it off, thinking he was getting into Harvard, and that fell through. So now he's got to start all the way over.
Right.
So that didn't happen. Oh, mass deportations. I don't know what to say about that. I mean, that's a lot of airplanes, man.
Yeah, it's a lot, but I don't know. I'm not really sure how we're going to get her done, but I just hope that it happens. You know, that's all. Like, just go ahead and get it done. Whatever the best way is, I say go for it. You know, like I said, I don't know how we're going to do it, but just find a way.
Well, I know Mexico's economy is booming now. It matches ours. And same with Canada. They're doing real good too. You know, the three Americas, North, South, and Central, are doing really well. So the economy is not the problem, you know. But if we push 20 million people back into Mexico, there's going to be a problem.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
So and to bring them back to their country of origin, let's say El Salvador. We drop people off that are from El Salvador back into El Salvador. They're going to have trouble when they get there. First of all, it's winter there. It's getting cold, you know.
Hey, you know, they got to, you know, whatever they got to do with, that's on them, you know, because once you make a decision to come into the country illegally, then I think all the altruism and all that kind of stuff kind of goes out the window. Like, you just got to do what's right.
Right. And this concentration camp thing, we all know that's a false equivalency, and we know why she did it. She's trying to, all right, nobody thinks that concentration camps are a good idea. I don't care what side of the fence you're on. And she's trying to push the narrative to get our side to say, yeah, to bring his poll numbers down. Now, this poll number thing, I think that's phony and made up. What they do is that calls people on Monday morning at like 10:30 in the morning. Number one, all the men are at work, and a lot of women too. I got to say that. And who's at home is answering their phone. Not people that owe money to the bill collectors, that's for sure. You know, people that are working on their credit, they're not. Hey, it's a strange number. I ain't answering it. That's how I do it anyway.
Right.
So who's answering the phone is somebody that's got nothing to lose. So they'll answer the phone. Oh yeah, I'll take this call. Oh yeah, screw Trump. You know, and then we start. You know, and that's and they put polling booths in weird places in the summertime. Now they can set up polling booths outside, like carnivals, Jay-Z concerts, you know, and things like that. So this is where the numbers could be. They could be this way or that way. And I'm seeing narratives where he's firing people over it. Trump is firing people.
I think he needs to. I mean, if the polls ain't right, if things aren't going right, then you got to do what you got to do. You know, let's not people in there that are not doing the right thing, because a lot of these numbers, when they get out there to the public, it can kind of split a decision. It's like, oh, okay, he's not polling very well. I don't really have faith. I'm going to go vote in a different direction. But I'm going to cut you right here, but I got a few more calls on the lines. Thank you for the calls always, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, all you people, all you happy people out there, thumbs forward, thumbs up. Ivan, you don't know what you're talking about, as usual. And peace.
All right, peace. All right, thank you to my man, Uncle Reggie, a.k.a. Kerr Plump, for the call. And we got like a little bit of a trolling invasion here. Thank you to Michelle A. and Elijah Jean for getting them out of here. I appreciate that. Yeah. I appreciate y'all for doing what you're doing. Helps me out tremendously. Yeah, the messages being deleted is because of all the trolls that came in at once. Yeah, it happens. All right, so let's go ahead and get to my next call. All right, caller, you're on the line, 737.
Hey, what's up, man? This is my first time calling in 3 weeks.
All right. So
can you hear me?
Yeah, what's going on?
Oh yeah, what's on the line, sir? And you know what? Now I know how to react properly on the call system. Talk about improving your calling skills. All right, I have a question, and I'm that person who asked, do you think reparations are another form of government control?
Yeah.
Now, can you explain to me how would reparations work on paper? Because, like, so is every white person automatically supposed to pay reparations, even those with good intentions? Is that the premise?
Nah, the way it works is the government would pay it. So, I mean, that's why I say it doesn't make any sense, because first of all, you're not going to get money from anybody that actually, like, the money won't come from people that were actually engaged in slavery. It'll come from all Americans, including people that would be getting paid. So you like, if you're a citizen of the United States, you pay taxes, you be paying your own reparations, because you're paying into money that you be getting back.
Now, but the funny thing is, what's the point of reparations if there has been a welfare state dedicated to minority communities anyway since the 70s? And not to mention, I mean, and you can say there's other forms of reparations, just not direct reparations. I would even consider affirmative action as a form of reparation. Then we can agree on that, correct?
Well, of course, but people, I think a lot of people are just kind of out there searching to see what else they can get. What's the next benefit? What's the next entitlement we can get? And they're trying to get the maximum amount. They're trying to get money. They're trying to get other things. I think it's just kind of a waste of time. And you'll have people that entertain it because they're trying to get votes. They're trying to, win elections. They're trying to get a leg up on somebody else. They'll promise it as part of their campaign, but they won't actually be able to deliver.
And can you tell me why they're only making this a black versus white issue when you can say every race had slaves of each of their own, and other races, like, why are they adding a black versus white angle to it if every race has been enslaved and has had slaves?
Well, it's not necessarily a black versus white issue when it comes to the country paying it, but people discuss it as if it's a black or white issue because that's just kind of how things are. It's a lot of envy that goes on. And it's this general concept of the white man being to blame for everything. So that's why it may get framed like that. But as far as reparations right now, it's being framed as the USA did us wrong, America did us wrong. So therefore, we got to get reparations for that. Okay,
yeah, and then sorry to cut you there, but to any person continuing to espouse that, and please forgive my language, but any that bull crap, I challenge anyone who says that. Name me a country that has been found in a peaceful foundation. Oh, wait, you can't? Then stop with that anti-American rhetoric. It's annoying.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy, but people are going to do what they're going to do. People just they have this these certain wishes and desires, and they're going to voice their opinion, even if it never comes about. People have been doing this kind of thing for years and years and years. It's guys that talk about these issues that have been talking about it for about 50 years, made a whole career on it. So it's all about really money at the end of the day.
Yeah. So, I mean, if America is the most rich country in the world, then what about Nazis? What about skinheads? What about the Taliban? What about, I can name a bunch of other racial supremacy groups in other countries. So, like, is America one world at this point, or what is it how's that being framed also? Sorry. Another question.
It's a good question.
All right. I'll cut you off right here. Thank you for letting me call in. First time calling in 3 weeks. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Shout out to the caller. I most certainly appreciate him. And you guys know the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. If you want to get in right here on the bottom left-hand corner, pardon me, through Skype, there's an email for that in the description box below. All right. All right, Nippin, what's happening?
Not much. How you doing?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
Yeah. So we're down to 4 men.
4 men for what? For the to become the prime minister?
Yeah.
Okay. So you still think it's going to be Boris?
Yeah, I do. He's leading in so many polls. I just don't see anyone else winning it. Unless there's some sort of collusion to interfere with the election.
That's right. It definitely could happen.
Yeah, other than that, I only see Boris winning it.
Right.
Yeah, I have if Nigel Farage ran as a Conservative rather than as part of the Brexit Party, he would probably win.
Yeah.
Actually, he would definitely win. Oh no.
What's up?
My headphones are running out of battery.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, but I can continue.
All right, go ahead.
If I run out of battery, I'll just continue without headphones.
All right.
So, yeah, AOC comparing the detention camps to concentration camps Hitler used.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's 1000% crazy. But people like that will say anything to get their point across and to try and spread misinformation.
Yeah. Those concentration camps are so cruel that they offer you a pool table, television, English lessons. Yeah, that's really cruel.
Right, exactly. They're playing in there playing soccer, or what you would call football.
Yeah. They give you football. They give you video games. They give you TV. Yeah, that's a detention camp.
Exactly. And then the thing about it is, they get released pretty soon afterwards, and a lot of them are happy to go there because, they're making this long journey with limited food, limited water. They're able to get fed, hydrated, medical attention, all that good stuff. So
yeah. Now comparing that to Auschwitz, where you were stripped. You were taken, your clothes were taken, you were given rags, you had all your hair cut off so that you looked the same.
That's right.
Yeah, I know where I would go if I was detained.
Right.
Well, I'm not likely to be detained, because I always go legally places.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way to go. I don't understand why anybody, but people can't understand that. If you go to a place legally, then you don't have any problems. If you want to go illegally, well, you might not make it and through the country without being detained.
So Trump having the 2020 interview, is it like a documentary on Fox?
Well, no, it was on ABC on 2020. It was with George Stephanopoulos. It was like a little hour special.
George Stephanopoulos. I've heard that name.
Yeah, he was with Hillary Clinton's camp back in the day. Well, with Bill Clinton.
Oh yeah,
Bill Clinton.
Has he jumped ship?
Well, no, like he's still a liberal, still pretty staunch liberal, but I guess Trump wanted to just do that to speak to their audience, I suppose.
Yeah. And now there's Kyle Kashuv, accused of being a racist for something he said. Like, how old is he?
He's 18 now, but he said it when he was 16.
2 years ago, and he's getting stick for something he said casually. Right.
I mean, he apologized for it.
Yeah, he apologized. Look, even I've said some things I shouldn't have said in the past, like, oh, Mapaki, come here. That's like, have you heard of the term Paki?
Yeah, I have heard that term.
Yeah, it's the same term that Pakistanis use amongst each other, like black people would use N-word among each other.
Right.
So yeah, I was just saying that casually, and some people just got so triggered by it.
Right. So then if somebody comes forward in the future and says, well, Nippon said Packy, and then all of a sudden it's like, it's a big problem. It's like, come on, like, let's not just, if you're going to punish somebody, let it fit the crime. Don't just deny them an education for it. That's not the right way to go about it.
Before coming online, I watched Brandon Tatum's take on it, and he was like, if white people aren't allowed to use the N-word, neither are black people amongst each other.
I agree with that, and I don't use universal slurs at all.
The same term goes for Paki. If people who are not from Asian origin or Pakistan aren't allowed to use it among each other, then neither should anyone else.
Right. Now, I heard that word. I thought it was just short for Pakistan. I didn't know that it was like...
they take it as like a really offensive thing.
Oh, I had no idea.
It's as offensive to them as the N-word is to black people.
Wow.
Honestly, I never understood why.
Well, hey, people get offended by certain things, I suppose, and that shit. Yeah, that shouldn't be enough to just have somebody just not be a person anymore. People should be able to get beyond it.
Now, the governor of Virginia, he didn't just say, he actually dressed up like a Klansman.
That's right.
And the Democrats, including people who are not white, they say F all about it.
Basically.
They're giving him a free pass.
Free pass.
They think, oh, it was a long time ago. I'm sorry. No. Just no. I bet you any money if it was someone like Kay Ivey or Sarah Palin.
Oh, yeah. That wouldn't work.
They would be slated.
Yeah, that would not work at all. You know, or even Trump himself. What if Trump himself had a yearbook from back in the day where he had on the Klan costume? They would never let him see the end of it. They'd be saying, impeach him right now, get him out of office. That would be the response. But to Ralph Northam, no big deal.
Yeah, he's a Democrat. We'll give him a pass.
That's right.
But then, yeah. If Kay Ivey's found dressed up as a Klanswoman or Sarah Palin, no, they'd never let her hear the end of it.
Exactly.
But since it's a Democrat, they say, yeah, it's fine. Democrats are tolerant.
Right.
So, yeah, they're such hypocrites.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much how they operate, but I'm not surprised anymore. You know, Democrats going to be Democrats. They're always hypocrites. They'll say one thing and do something else. But that's pretty much it, ain't it, Nippy?
No, now the ICE to deport millions. I swear the Democrats brought this up like 6 months ago. Saying that ICE are equal to the Gestapo.
Yeah, that was crazy. But, you know, that's just what they do, because what they really want are open borders, and not for any other reason than to get people that are coming in here illegally, and hopefully they're able to vote one day. That's going to be the ultimate goal.
Yeah, you can't get voters legally. Just bring them in.
There you go.
Yeah. Give up. What's that Nike thing? Even if it means bringing in illegal immigrants.
Sacrificing everything?
Even if it means bringing in illegal immigrants. So what is this ICE doing?
What you say? What is ICE doing?
Yeah.
Well, they're gonna attempt to deport millions of people coming up very soon.
Well, yeah. It's not going to be easy, but I hope it works.
Same here. It won't be an easy task, but hopefully they're able to go ahead and get her done.
Yeah. And these people using, my kid, I don't know whether they've kidnapped those kids or they're actually legitimate children.
Well, it's hard to tell. That's the problem, because some of these kids, you know, they could be with their parents. Some of them may not be. That's the problem. That's why you have so many people that are being separated from their families. That's kind of the whole issue. But
yeah, sometimes they just use that as an excuse to get sympathy.
That's right.
No, you're not seeing any sympathy from me. Not on my watch.
I agree with you on that, man. But I got a few more calls on the line, so I'm gonna get to a few more here.
Yeah, it was nice talking to you, ABL.
Oh, always.
Shall see you on Saturday. Well, yes, Saturday your time, Sunday my time.
That's right.
I'll see you on Sunday.
All right, see you then. Take care.
Peace.
All right, great call from my man Nippin. Thank you for the call. Most certainly appreciate it. And shout out to everybody that is in here. You guys on the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Thank you to ZR, who says, been a rough day for Joe, Archie, Bunker, Biden. Hilarious. Thank you for that. Most certainly appreciate you. And shout out to all the callers calling in. 903, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Is Anthony?
Yes, who am I speaking to?
Well, my name's Ryan.
All right, Ryan, what's going on?
Hey, I'm actually kind of stunned that I got through to you. I've noticed you had a few callers that were maybe inebriated. I'm a huge fan, and I guess you're still on right now, right?
Yes, I am.
Okay, right on. Well, I haven't been very much on politics, until recently, probably in the last 6 months or so. But I got to tell you how much of it's very enlightening to see so many, black conservatives, for lack of a better way of saying, but it's been really a nice shot to the arm after you see all this other stuff on the media all the time. But especially here recently, that I think you mentioned them earlier, the Fox News guy who
Lawrence Jones.
The guy said, Lawrence Jones, said or got by the tolerant left over there. I thought it's really funny how you don't ever see that, unless it's on Fox News or something like that. It's crazy how much that stuff doesn't ever get. They don't ever do any coverage on it and stuff like that, So, and my question for you was, I guess, about this whole reparations thing. That's a new thing that I've noticed that all these candidates, like you see Elizabeth Warren, any of these people on the Democratic side that are running, even whenever they're asked the question, it's like, well, do you believe in reparations? Like whenever they do these town hall meetings and stuff like that, it's like, even whenever they answer, it's like, it's a blatant pandering thing. It's crazy. It's like, I don't even know how that came up. And I just saw today where there's an actual bill that they're trying to write up for reparations, or they're actually trying to push legislation through for it. So, do you know when that started?
When what started?
The whole reparations topic, or when did that start coming back up again?
That's an idea that's been going on. Is that never really gone away? It's just been kind of like at certain points throughout the years, it's been more popular than others, but it's never really gone away. But I think the most recent wave started after Trump got in office.
Oh, okay. Yeah, since he's such an avowed racist.
And the funny part is, you would think that there would be more attention towards the topic when you had the first quote unquote black president in office, but it never was. Yeah. He never spoke about it. There was never any call for him to get it. But now we expect the big bad white man, the racist, to do it. It doesn't make any sense. It's just a way to, it became kind of popular online. It was a meme, really, and then it became popular again because of that.
Yeah, yeah, it is crazy how this whole thing. I mean, I don't know if I've ever. I mean, I didn't pay attention to politics much until recently, and maybe it's just because the left has gotten lefter, or just more and more radical and just crazy. It's just like anything they say. It's like anything comes out of their mouth. It's like, wow. I mean, how are these people? First of all, how are these people like in Senate or congressmen or whatever, like AOC? How do these people get to where they are? And it's just, you find out that they were probably just pushed up by somebody else, and it's just to throw a monkey wrench in the whole system. But it's like really, really amazes me how much stuff that is said by these people that it's like nobody checks them or nobody calls them out, really, especially like when the media and whoever on the left comes to her defense and like tries to justify the whole thing she said about the comparison of the concentration camps, and and she's making win like she didn't mean for. She wasn't saying, "Oh, I wasn't making a comparison to the Holocaust," but then she throws that tagline in there, the "Never Again." It's like I watch Ben Shapiro all the time too, along with your show. Your show's the bomb, man. I love it. So I love Brandon Tatum. I love you. Candace Owens is great. And so I love what you're doing. So, I mean, I could watch you every day. So I keep doing what you're doing. I can't believe I'm on the phone with you. It's pretty cool.
Well, I thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, man. I want to wrap it up quick. So, because everybody else seemed to kind of meander on, but I'm glad I got through to you, man. It's great talking to you.
All right. Thank you for the call. Most certainly appreciate it.
You bet.
All right, now. All right, shout out to the caller. Thank you to everybody that's called in. Shout out to all the new callers, regular callers, everybody. I thank you all for being here. If you're just now coming into the chat, into the stream, whether you're watching it on the repeat or you're watching it live, please give me a thumbs up. That helps out tremendously. Take it to Jonestown Autopsy, who says Maxine Waters voted number 2 in Rolling Stone's top 100 beautiful women. Wow. I mean, what kind of scale is that? I mean, hopefully that's not a real thing, because Maxine, maybe when she was like 18, but now you're looking like the Predator. That's not really gonna, I can't do nothing with that. But thank you for the donation. Definitely appreciate you. Let me get to my next call here. 860, you're on the line. I'm speaking to.
Yes, ABL. This is John from Connecticut. How you doing?
Everything is great. How about yourself?
Yeah, doing real good. Listen, I just want to go over a few things here. I was, I'm listening to you here, and I subscribe to you, and I watch all the time. I'm a first-time caller. It's the Democrats just want to flood the entire United States with the illegals because it's more for representation at this point. I think that if they flood all of the states, it's a population. The total population will need more representation, not just for the legal population, but they're counting on illegals also. So that would most likely go toward, of course, the Democratic Party. Don't you agree?
Yeah, I mean that makes sense. It definitely makes sense. That's a big part of it. They're trying to get more power and more reps because it's gonna be more people, and they're going to have illegals fill out the census. That's why they don't want to have that question be on there. Are you a citizen? I think if a person's not a citizen, they shouldn't be counted in the census. That's just my opinion. I mean,
correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something, ABL. That question was on the census many years ago.
Okay.
And it was removed. So that question appeared on the census. See, this is something that the mainstream media isn't going to talk about, of course. But yes, that question was already on there. It was removed at some point, I believe, in the late 50s, early 60s. I'm not really sure. Somebody could certainly punch it up on their computer, and it would say. But the way I look at it, though, we have already lost after 2020. I'm praying that Trump gets in, providing there's no shenanigans going on here. But the fact of the matter is, I think that the Democrats have gotten enough illegals in here to sway the tide here. I think that 2024 and beyond is totally Democrats.
Well, I'm optimistic about it because a lot of the people, number one, they're going to highly Democratic areas already. They're going to major cities where they're going to vote Democrat regardless of what. But the second thing is you got to be able to get them to actually vote. And I think that in order to have illegals vote, that's going to have to be in a very highly Democratic area for that to happen. San Francisco, New York. So they're not really going to affect anything more than it'll just be more votes in the same blocks that always vote one way. You're not going to be able to have illegals voting in conservative areas to sway an election that way. You're not going to be able to change Ohio or something like that from red to blue because of illegals, because you're not going to have the policies of the left coast or of a New York City being Columbus, Ohio. It just ain't going to happen.
Well, I kind of disagree because they're being sent to a lot of some of red states. Look at DeSantis. He said that he didn't want them, But I mean, how long can he hold that off?
Well, they're being sent. They're being sent to red states. But the thing is, if they're not legal, they're not going to be able to vote in the red state.
Yeah, I understand that they can't vote now. See, they're not. The Democrats aren't really looking at 2020. They're looking beyond 2020. You see, now all of their offspring, and just think about it.
Okay, I see.
Somebody that came with a kid, say 5 years ago. The kid's got 13 more years, and in 13 more years, he'll be able to vote.
I see what you mean. So basically,
yes.
like, you having anchor babies, you having people that come here and
correct
their kids grow. Okay, I see what you mean. So second generation, when they start to vote, they're going to be all Democrat because of what they were raised with.
Exactly, and this is why I'm saying that they have already flooded enough. Okay, they've left the gates open long enough. Trump tried to close it. They wanted it closed. Then all of a sudden Trump gets elected. They see a way to power. They leave the gates open. All of these people come in here. What do we get? 150,000 a month, 140-some thousand a month. Pretty soon we're just going to end in this year. We're going to have over a million people. We already have some 30 million people. I hear conservative Mexican talking about it all the time, and he's saying that there's far more than what they're giving out on mainstream media.
Yeah, they say 11 million, but it's probably about 30 million.
Yeah, ABL. They've been saying 11 million for what, the past 10 years?
Right, exactly. It's like, come on, like let's update the number, shall we?
Exactly. But this is my point, and I'm an optimist myself, but I say, Trump is doing a fantastic job by himself with just a handful of Republicans. The rest are rhinos, and then he's fighting the rest of the Democratic Party. But the fact is that, God help us, let him get elected in 2020, but he's only going to go to 2024. Republicans are only going to be in power till 2024. Believe me, this is going to be a shame because they've got, well, we just explained. It's just it's a matter of mathematics. Sooner or later, and now they want to give amnesty. They're still pushing for amnesty.
Yeah.
I mean, my God. But and we're going to be paying for this too for years because the Democratic Party talks about this, that, and the other for the American people, but they have no regard for the American people when it comes down to protecting America's borders, pushing socialistic ideas, forcing U.S. tax-paying citizens to pay for millions of illegal aliens to live the American dream, and that's not even talking about the diseases that are coming into our country that we're paying for immediately the minute they walk. The minute they come over, they're like a third of them, I heard, going right to the hospital. How much is this costing the American taxpayer?
Oh, overwhelming, because a lot of them are being airlifted because they're coming through the country in these remote corridors, New Mexico, Texas, Arizona, California. And, the hospitals aren't just right there. So they're getting Nightingale, they're getting the EMTs to come right there from like 2 hours away in the vehicle.
Yes.
That costs a lot of money.
Yes.
To even have a regular person go from their home to a hospital in their city costs a lot of money for the ambulance to come get them. So imagine going from El Paso, Texas to way out New Mexico somewhere like 2 hours away. It's expensive.
Exactly. Yep. And even now, and you're looking at, you say, well, this is California and this is a Texas problem, and now, they're trying to push into Florida. But you don't think about the Northeast. Do you know that they just shipped something like, what is it, 150 Africans to Portland, Maine?
Portland, Maine, yeah. And the thing about it is they've been going there. They were trying to send more. They had 350, but they can only send 150. And I think that in Portland, Maine, African migrants are 90% of the migrant population up there. 90%. And they're all illegal, trying to get asylum.
Mm-hmm. And then now you're talking, too, about they were talking about a strain of Ebola. Could possibly be.
Yeah, it's possible because they're coming from Congo, and that's where it's at. It's right there in Central Africa.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Can you imagine what that would do? My God, man. I mean, and they keep talking about measles. You know who's bringing in the measles? And I've been plotting some of these cities that are having these measles outbreaks. That's where some of these illegals are being shipped.
Oh yeah, so definitely. They're because they're not immunized at all. And they're coming sick. Like a lot of them have the sores on them when they are when they're on the way to America. They have the sores on them. Like I heard about the story of the caravan. You had doctors trying to immunize people in the caravan as they're coming. It's like this guy is full of sores. It's too late. What are you doing?
Exactly. Right. Yes. Yep. Well, okay, ABL. I'll tell you what. I've been on here for quite a long time. Let's give somebody else a chance. But it's very, very good talking to you, and I hope that I'll get a chance to call in again.
Well, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, thank you for talking to me. All right, have a good night.
Thanks, same to you. All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. And thank you all for being here. Again, the number to call is 434-658-1220. It's right there in the ticker, and it should be in the description box. If it's not, I'll try to tighten it up and fix it for you. Yeah, the plague. Yes, LC. There was an episode of the plague some years ago in New Mexico, but it didn't tell you about the origin of it. Where did that come from? Tuberculosis. A lot of these diseases that shouldn't be here in America. And you know, it ain't just Central Americans coming over here. People that come from Africa, Europe, Asia, all over the place. So it's just a little bit too much going on. But let me get to my next call here. 512, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
My Zach.
Huh?
My name's Zach.
All right, Zach, what's happening?
Oh, nothing. Love watching your show. Had to ask you about what you thought about Joe Biden lately.
Joe Biden is leading the pack because he has name recognition. People know who he is because of the Obama White House, and he can get some money behind his name. But realistically, he has no chance. He's 76 years old. He'll be 77. Trump is old, but Biden is much older. Biden will almost turn 80 years old. I think he'd be like 79 in his first year of office if he were to be elected in 2020. Too old. And he is everything that the Democratic Party seems to be against right now. So I don't really see a path forward realistically. They're against the white man, check. They're against the rich man, check. They're against straight men, check, check, check. So I don't really see, you know, how the Democrats can really push him forward. Although he is a front runner, I don't really see a path.
I don't either, and I think after his, mistakes today with the supporting segregation and not apologizing for it, I don't know how the woke leftist crowd can vote for him.
Hold on, what happened now? I didn't see that from today.
Oh, no, they brought up how in the 70s he worked with the segregationists and said they were good people. And that he's not apologizing for thinking they're good people and working with them. Granted, it didn't do anything for, civil rights. And I'm not going to lie, we went out after work and had a field day about it. So, but I don't think that the Democrats are just becoming too woke. I don't think they can vote for him with that.
Yeah. Now, some are going to begrudgingly, the same as they did with Hillary Clinton, because Hillary Clinton had some spotty stuff in her past too. Super Predators comment about young black gangbangers back in the day. Her husband writing the crime bill that had a lot of black men in jail. Her brother, who died recently, mysteriously, but that's a different story. Tony Rodham, he was on the board that was involved with a fake gold mine in Haiti after the earthquake, and they looted the country for a lot of money. So she had quite a few things that were against her, and a lot of black folks still voted for her. But Joe Biden, I think, is worse because he's like unapologetic, doesn't really care, and he's a gaffe machine. So he's going to constantly be making little things like this all the time. And he is a male, white male. It's just too many check marks, too many things that are against him to drive any kind of real enthusiasm, although some will still vote for him.
I mean, he gets 74 people to show up to one of his rallies. He's got to be proud about that.
That's crazy. I mean, I went to the Brexit rally with my friend Candace Owens, Brandon Tatum, and a lot of people. We had the whole house packed with no promotion, no nothing. Now you got this guy who has all kind of resources behind him. You were in the White House for 8 years, the highest office in the land, and you can bring 75 people to. Come on, that is piss poor.
No, he feels proud about it. The media will make it look big. Yeah, all my buddies went to Brexit up in Richmond, Virginia. They had a good time. Or Richmond or LA, one of the two. Yeah,
I was there.
They all flew up there. They had a good time. They're all new conservatives, former Obama voters, so they loved it.
Yeah, I was there. It was a great experience. I probably met some of your friends up there. It was fantastic. I'm gonna try to go to the next one they're gonna have soon.
Well, I mean, let's keep getting the word out. Gotta, fight the media somehow. But as I said, love your show. My buddy Kenny, just from Birmingham, got me to start watching you. Keep up the good work, man, and have a good rest of the Wednesday. I got to get rolling.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. Yeah, hey, the Black Ship Richmond rally, that was a great experience. That was great. YBLS was great. All these things, and YBLS, that was like life changing for a lot of people. I took the picture when we were in the across from the White House, not far from the White House, and what's that? The I forget what they call it, the station, something, but it was like a little underground thing of this. Like it might have been the old train station. We went to the Chick-fil-A, and then everybody came in there with their Trump hats on. So I'm like, okay, I got to get a picture with everybody. So that picture right there and other pictures like that, they've been all over the place. They gone viral. A lot of people in this picture, they've been on TV. They've been doing interviews. They've been just doing a lot. So shout out to everybody that's in this picture. Shout out to everybody that was there at YBLS and also the Blexit Richmond rally. We gonna keep on going. See, things like this, when you see stuff like this, people, these kind of pictures, and it shows you could be a so-called person of color and you could be conservative. That's going to help in, changing the narrative out there that you can't be a conservative if you're not a white person. That's going to help with the election. That's going to help with the future, because kids are coming up right now. They made, like my man said earlier about the immigrants that are coming in, the illegals, 100,000 deep every day, crazy numbers like that. Their kids are going to be growing up in America, and they're going to see people like myself and others. So the outside influences are going to change. Just like my parents were 100% liberal, but I grew up here in America. I was able to see things differently in my time than they were. So that might be something that look forward to. If you are speaking to the culture of America, you could change hearts and change minds that way. So look forward to that being the case coming up in 2020 and afterwards as well. But let me get to my next call. All right, caller, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, no, ABL. The question isn't who you're speaking to. The question is, are you ready to join the info war?
Hey, I'm ready as I'll ever be. So what should I do here? What's my next step?
So I've been noticing, I didn't want to weird out your program, but I did see earlier that a lot of people like John Cusack and Tariq Nasheed were in your chat. So I figured I'm normal enough. The ones that you kicked out, the trolls.
That's right, so, yes.
So, look, it's the hardest time in my entire life with all these shy-coms and all these people coming after me, trying to take me down in court, saying that I said things that didn't happen. I didn't say things that didn't happen. That never happened. I never say things that never happened. I always just talk about things that happened and what I think about how they happened. So are we on the same page?
I'm not really sure, but hey, we'll try to be if we're not.
Anyways, I've been watching your show from afar for a while. I don't know if you've noticed, but I think we're kindred spirits.
Hey, that's a good thing to know.
I think you have the stuff to be part of the InfoWar family. So I'm going to let you in on an exclusive perspective on what really happened with the Gulf of Oman incident. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right, let me just share this screen. All right, it all started out at 1200 hours when the clock boy started to navigate his way through the Arabian Sea here. You can see that?
Yes.
And then about 15 minutes later, Eddie Bravo saw that his maneuver, and he knew he was up to no good, and he got him into a chokehold, and he was blocked basically. See that?
Oh, okay. So the clock boy was in the Arabian Sea just swimming.
I don't know. Maybe there was a pool float or something. These people are resilient.
Oh, okay.
It is kind of that geographic area where he's used to, right? So anyway, so Eddie gets him in the chokehold. So incident averted, right? Not so fast.
Oh.
because now the Chi-Coms come and they're ready to, they're distracting Eddie, and he has to wait out there and try to block him. So he's all busy with that. And bang, all these people gang up on him. You got Prince Harry and Meghan Markle, and then you got the Iranian fleet and the interdimensional pedophiles along with them. And the U.S. fleet comes, and you already have the Gulf of, you see the tanker already steaming out there to the waters. And then finally, once the U.S. fleet was there, bang, you got Michelle Obama's protruding pelvis coming in there.
Okay.
and it just got all out of hand. And they turned the friggin' frogs gay. They turned him gay.
Oh, wow.
Can you see this? What?
Hey, you know what? The way you presented it to me, it has to be real. I'm 100%. So that's what happened. I can't say anything else as it relates to that because you convinced me. That's how the frogs got gay. I'm sold.
You see, Anthony, I wish it wasn't so easy, but at least, at least I have somebody here who understands the demons with these international pedophiles going around causing all these fights at Chuck E. Cheese's and everything. It's not like those things could be happening at random, right?
That's right, man. You're right. You got it.
Right? You're not just humoring me to get along to another caller, right?
No, I would never do that.
Right. I always knew I could count on you, ABL. Welcome to the Info War.
All right. Thank you for the call. I appreciate it.
Have a good night.
All right. So that was Alex Jones. Shout out to him. And that was a real call. That was not a troll pretending to be Alex Jones with a made up PowerPoint presentation. That was really him. So shout out to him for the call. And let's get to some more calls. Now I know you're on the line. I'm speaking to.
Hey, what's up, baby? I'm from North Carolina.
All righty. What's going on?
Not much, man. How's your week going?
Everything's smooth, man. Can't complain.
It's just gonna comment on the Kyle Kashuv Harvard thing. I think it's, I don't condone. Of course, nobody condones what he said, but remarks made in private, I think all of us are pretty guilty of saying some pretty foul stuff, whether it's racist or just hurtful. And in private, it's like, I don't think anybody wants their private messages to get out there.
Not at all.
So for them,
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Nah, nobody wants to have those. Nobody wants that to get out there. People say all kind of things in private. They write things in private, and it's just like if there were a fly on the wall in everyone's house and everybody was recorded without their knowledge, and then it was just published to the internet, people would just it'd cause mass hysteria if that were to happen.
Yeah, it would be crazy. It'd be crazy. And I just think it's extra, I guess, ironic that Harvard would rescind their application due to racism, even though their whole application process and going through it is racist. They separate out Asians and they score them like less likable, or they subtract off their they subtract points off their SAT because they're overrepresented in the university. So it's like, you guys are just as bad, or you guys are totally worse. It's like everybody screams about real institutional racism, and I always ask, where is it? But I think we found it. It's at Harvard. It's called the application process.
Oh, 100%. I mean, they're already being sued right now. It's a class action lawsuit from Asian students who are being discriminated against, because there's this little thing on there that says personality. Do you have a good personality or whatever? That's used as a loophole to get Asian students out of the process.
That's messed up.
Yep.
Hey, are you selling the We the People hats?
Yes, they're in my description box, and there's also, it should be like a little carousel of products under the video is right there.
Okay. Thanks, ABL. Keep up the good work, man. Really appreciate you taking the call.
And thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, have a good night.
All right, now, same to you. All right, shout out to the caller. But yeah, if you're looking for the hats, let me see if I can pull it up right quick just so you can see it. Yeah, matter of fact, this is perfect. So I can show you guys All right. So let's look at this video right here. This is me right now. It's a little delayed, so you see how it's like not really the same. So right up under, you see the title, description, and then right here you see a carousel of products. You can click right there, and then you go straight to the web page to get the hat. This one I have right here is the vintage trucker style, and it's available in black, blue, and red. The red is not one to show for some reason, but it's there, trust me. And it's a nice red. I have another product that I added yesterday. Now this one is kind of just a fun one that I did. Oh, if you've not seen my other products, I'm gonna just show it to you right quick before we get to the next one. The MSNPC shirt, that's a fun one. The 1776 flag, that's, it's kind of made like this. The We the People, that's one, and then the 1776 with just the flag by itself, that's another one. And you can get the flags also in the description box. But We the People is also in the shirt, sticker. We was Burger King, that's available. The MAGA, that's available. You have to go back. That I digress. I'm gonna change that one a little bit. CNN sucks. Trump pinch 20, and also the Clown World. That's my newest one I did today. Now you got die cut stickers. If you're in US, you can get these. If you're in Europe or somewhere else, you can't get the die cut. You got to get the regular sticker. So that's a regular one. It's like probably like a 3x6 or 5x7. And the die cut, I think that's probably like 4x6 or something like that. So that's probably one. I'm gonna get that one and put it on some things randomly. I don't encourage vandalism, but put it somewhere where it's visible, people can see it. So that's what I got right now. And again, all these are available in the description box, or also under the video. But let me get to my next call. And thank y'all for joining. If you're just now coming into the chat, please hit the like button. That does me wonders. It does so much. It helps the video get seen and heard and viewed by everybody on the internet. So thank you for the help. Yeah. Oh yeah. And I do all the designs myself. Cause before I started this YouTube thing, I was a graphic designer. So I do everything myself. But they're pretty easy because it's just emojis. Like the one I just showed you with just emojis. It's pretty simple. But let me get to my next call. 918, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Trey.
All right.
Yeah,
What's going?
I just want to talk about Kyle.
All right.
I read enough in the post that he said something about Jews too. Did you hear anything about that?
Yeah, he did.
Okay. Yeah. But to me, I really don't care if he gets accepted to Harvard or not. I mean, if they do anything, I hope he just goes somewhere else and just, be a productive citizen, because, it's kind of their choice. But I don't think it's about what he said. I think it's about his politics.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Now some would kind of kick back on that because they knew who he was before, because he was in the public eye. He was in Turning Point USA at one point. He's not anymore. But when he applied, he was, and they knew about him being pro Second Amendment and all of that. However, they were trying to find a thing to get him out of there on. And then once that came about and they started getting some complaints from people, then it was like, okay, we got enough to get him out of the process.
Yeah. Like I said, his whole politics, that they denied that they don't, censor conservatives, and the mainstream media is fair and balanced. So like the whole N-word and the whole killing Jews was just a reason to get them out, because they don't want to be, acting like they were, like they say that they don't, but they do. Censor conservatives, they're against conservatives. And then also I think they were like in text messages and documents, and then I noticed that they didn't show a lot of other people's comments, but they showed his.
Right, yeah, of course, because it's not even about anything else. It's about trying to get him out of there. That's all. They don't care about anybody else. He's the target. And then the whole thing about the Jewish comments, he's Jewish. Like, for real. Both parents are Jewish. He was raised Jewish, synagogue, all that. So, like they're trying to say that. It's like, how can he be anti-Semitic when he's Jewish? It don't make no sense.
Yeah. I mean, they've tried to. Did you remember Kyler Murray, the number one pick in the draft?
Yeah, that was crazy. I saw that. They tried to get him too.
Yeah.
It's like, man, come on.
mean,
like, you talking about, like, that was, I was really upset because, like, they did that, like, right when he was getting drafted or something, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
That was crazy. And I forget what the actual comment was. Do you remember?
Yeah. I don't remember. But I just, they're just trying to police people. They got mad at Nick Bosa because he supported Trump. I think he was a number 2 draft pick.
Yeah. It's like, come on. Like, you talking about number 2 draft pick. Look at this man's ability and his skill. Don't be worrying about who he vote for or nothing like that. That shouldn't even matter. You know, just worry about his skill. And it's not like he's not on the field talking about MAGA and all this and that. He's just playing football, which is the job you're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. Have you ever? I know you've been to Turner Point USA events. Have you met Kyle?
Have I met Kyle? I've not met him. I may have seen him, but I've not actually spoken to him.
Yeah, I've heard O'Shea. I think he's doing a show on the topic too, and somebody's talking about how it was bad because he supported, you know, the Second Amendment, and he went to the school that got shut up. I was like, I really don't get your point.
I mean, that's crazy because somebody that say something like that. I mean, they just if you say something like that means you're just anti-gun. Like if you say, you know, because you know. He supports it to make people safer because he wants to arm teachers and he wants to have a safer environment so you don't have any more school shootings. If you have armed teachers, better security, that could have prevented the shooting.
Yeah. Because I know the school I went to, we had campus police and stuff like that. So we had people on the campus that had guns. But, I mean, all the major mass shootings usually are at a place where they don't allow guns. So, you know, anyway.
Exactly. That's because they know that it's like a sitting duck, you know, gun-free zone. They won't get any kind of resistance. They can just go in there, do whatever they want to do. They feel comfortable. They feel confident. But if they go to a place where they know that they're going to get some kickback, they might get hit in the head one time with some lead, you know, that's a big time deterrent.
Did I miss Ivan? I think I might have missed. Did Ivan call in yet?
Yeah, he called in. He called in earlier and got wrecked again.
As usual, he's like 0-50. He keeps on trying. At least he's trying to, you know, have a dialogue. So
that's right.
All right, man. Thanks for letting me picking up my call. So let you get on to these other callers.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
All
right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. And yeah, Cal Kashuv. I mean, come on. Like, people say stuff like that all the time. It ain't no big deal. Like, and he didn't even say anything. That's the problem. He didn't even say anything. He wrote it in some texts and some text messages and in a Google document. And it might not have even been in that Google document. It might have been that somebody saved it in a Google document. I'm not really sure why they would do that, but hey, it is what it is. You know, I'm not even really worried about it though. It's not actually a real big issue. You know, but people just make a mountain out of a molehill. And it shouldn't be that way, but unfortunately it is. All right. Let me get to the chat here. Yeah, shout out to Ivan though. You know, Ivan's cool, man, because I like to have people that call in different points of view. I like to get challenged. And if you get wrecked, I'm sorry, man, but it is what it is. Now I've not heard about any lawsuits against big tech for censoring conservatives. I'm not really sure how they're gonna go about that. If you're trying to sue big tech, that's going to be a big battle. You got to have some you got to have some extensive pockets because they're going to get empty. They're going to get empty dealing with big tech because they got endless resources. When you're talking about a Facebook or Google, I mean, look at it like this. Google loses $2 billion every year on YouTube, but they still run it. So if they can afford to lose that kind of cash every year, what are they going to do? They have plenty to be able to spend on defense. You know, they can kind of bury you like that. So hopefully these lawsuits are able to go forward and really and get some positive results from it. But let me get to my next call. 323 in the line. Am I speaking to?
No, it's Snap Turtle.
Snap Turtle, what's happening?
What's crack-a-lacking?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
You know I'm gonna come out of left field, right?
Hey, man, go for it.
What's going on with this Iran stuff, man? What's your take on that?
Man, what's happening is people are trying to provoke war, and I think that Trump does not want to do it. You know, I'm seeing Mike Pompeo go on TV talking about Trump does not want war, but at the same time, you can't just say that you're not going to have any option on the table because you don't want to telegraph your move. But there's been plenty of things like this that happen. North Korea was shooting missiles at Japan, almost hit Japan. Things have happened, but there's not been any actual declaration of war yet.
Right.
And I hope we stay that way.
Right. And you know what? The whole Korea, almost hit Japan thing, they do that every year.
Yeah.
That's almost as regular because when I was in the service, I served in South Korea, and they do all kinds of things to provoke us. But I'm telling you, man, this ain't North Korea. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Iran is not in the same weakened position as North Korea, which is why we have bases surrounding Iran and all the countries surrounding it. So, but now I would like to say that no one wants war, but they're always going to say that before they declare war. They're always going to say, oh, we don't want this. This is the last thing we want to do. But then they're talking about sending 1,000 troops to the Middle East, and they're talking about strategically bombing certain parts of Iran. And if you know if they strategically bomb any part of Iran, Iran is going to retaliate for real. And when you have Japan themselves saying that they don't believe the attack happened as we say it happened, there's a lot of funky stuff going on with this whole situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true.
And Mike Pompeo said I think it was at a college. He said that when he was in the CIA, he lied, he cheated, and he stole. And he said that there was whole training courses on doing all this. And now here he comes talking about, oh, Iran did this. We assessed that. What does that mean? We assessed that Iran attacked these tankers. And then when Japan and all these other countries say, well, we don't believe that that's what happened, then he says, well, just believe us. Our intelligence agencies said that's what happened. Just believe us. What kind of nonsense is that?
They did say they saw that the Iranians took the unexploded mine out of the ship.
Right. Did you see the video?
I've not seen the video.
Okay, so there's a video of a boat full of people removing something from the hull of the ship.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see any markers that say that it's Iran. I see some people in life vest, right, in a boat. And anybody who knows about this in the comment section can probably attest to that if you've actually seen that video. And one thing is they're saying that a mine did that or torpedoes, but the damage occurred above the waterline. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And this is the type of stuff that got us into this BS with Iraq, right?
Mm.
Weapons of mass destruction. Iraq was, what do they call it? Harboring terrorists that were involved in the 9/11 attack. And then they said, no, that's not what happened. Oh, they have weapons of mass destruction. And then Colin Powell comes out and says they didn't have. What's up, man? What's up with these people?
So you thinking that it was like some kind of missile, like it was not a mine. Like because it was a mine. Because a mine, I'm thinking, would be in the water floating, and then a ship goes over it.
It would be in the water, yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. In the torpedoes. Now they do have some torpedoes that will come up out of the water, That's the closest thing I would say that would be. Like if they shot a torpedo, that would. I don't know why that would happen though. Torpedoes are designed to sink ships. You don't sink a ship by putting a hole in above the waterline. And there were Japanese crewmen that said they saw drones and all kinds of stuff firing on them as this happened, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
So my thing is, Mike Pompeo is a known liar, right? And he said it is our assessment that Iran was responsible for this attack, and then Trump retweeted that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So I want to know what do you think if Trump says, "Oh, we're going to go to war with Iran," based on flimsy evidence at best? What would you think about that?
Well, I wouldn't be a fan. I definitely would be against that. I'm definitely against any kind of proclamation of war. That's part of the reason why I voted for Trump, because he was talking about not being an interventionist. Yeah. So if he does that, that'd definitely be a negative thing. I wouldn't be pleased at all. I'd be upset.
I'm very pleased by that answer, my brother. I'm gonna tell you that right now, because now I know you're not suffering from cognitive dissonance, and you really do got some sense.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that. No, for real. No. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something about me, man. This time last year, right? This time last year, before I started doing research and looking in deeper into things, I would have called somebody like you a coon.
Okay.
Right? And I'm pretty sure you said it, right?
Yeah.
But my eyes have been opened, and I was what you call a Hotep two-stepper, right? I ain't gonna lie. That's they are. They're full. And once you realize what Hotep two-steppers are really about, very few of them are actually real. So I had another awakening. Like, look, there are bigger things to worry about than just, it's a lot bigger than we think it is. So, yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I probably would have called you that, but now I'm like, okay, what's going on with guys like him is they're fed up with the real enemy, right? The panderers of black people, the panderers of illegal immigrants in the Democratic Party.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
So, and I don't fault you for saying, you know what, these people are crazy. Let me see what they talking about over here. And you know what? I ain't mad at that. You know what I'm saying? And it makes me feel better because I really like you. I really like your mindset, but it really makes me feel better that you would say you would turn on Trump if he not turn on him necessarily. And I don't even want that. Like, I want to know if Trump is being fed BS, that would make him want to do that. And I feel like, like with Dick Cheney, with how Dick Cheney was to Bush and all these people.
Yeah,
they had
like he was pretty much running the show from the vice president. Yeah.
Yeah, and I don't think Trump is stupid enough to allow that. But I would hate to find out that he would just jump on the train, the war bandwagon, and say, "Okay, let's bomb shit out of Iran." Because I'm gonna tell you something, man. It's not going to be like Iraq.
Oh no, Iran.
Be like,
that's Persia. They got way more people. They got actual weapons. Then they got Russia on their side, China on their side.
Man,
you would kill the world.
Yes, they have the largest mid-range nuclear missile arsenal than any other Middle Eastern country, even more than Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia are allies, so-called, right?
Yeah.
And that's nothing but Mike Pompeo, right? 1 minute he's calling out Saudi Arabia for doing some terrorist action, and next thing you know, that dude right there, he's a problem. But like I was saying, if we start this with Iran, it ain't gonna be Iraq, it ain't gonna be Afghanistan. That stuff is gonna come to the house. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And luckily, we haven't had anything come to the house since Pearl Harbor, right?
Exactly.
9/11 is questionable to me. I ain't even gonna get into that, but it will come home.
Well, I'm with you. I'm with you on that, man. I don't mean to cut you right here, but I got a few more calls on the line.
No, you're good. You're good. All right, man.
All right, thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
Hey, no problem, man. Bye.
All right, thank you. That's not total for the call. Most certainly appreciate them, 100%. And thank you to everybody that has called in so far. The number to call is right here, 434-658-1220. And I should put that in the box if it's not there already. But if you want to call in right here through Skype and be in the lower left-hand corner, there's the email for that in the description box below. But let me get to my next call. All right, caller on the line, 617.
ABL.
What's happening?
Hey, man. Let me get this. Sorry.
Who is it
it's Al from Florida.
All right. What's going on?
What's up? Yeah. I just had a few things I wanted to say about that Iran thing, about that tanker. Your last caller talked about it. And just something I was thinking is, first of all, I don't really buy it necessarily. And so here's one reason. Usually, because he just mentioned Pearl Harbor. And when you think about a country attacking another country preemptively or entering war with another country, it's usually a big attack. It's usually a strategically large attack, attacking like a strategic target that would be, detrimental to the enemy. So for them to just attack a boat like that or a tanker doesn't really make sense. Like Pearl Harbor, when they entered the war, or when Japan entered the war, they attacked Pearl Harbor, which is a relatively small attack in the scheme of most wars that were started in history.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm just saying it doesn't seem like Iran would have that would be a really smart thing to do, first of all. The other thing too is if you look at the video of them like whatever they're trying to disarm the mine, if you see there's a bunch of people on that boat. And it's kind of a relatively small boat. It's not a really small boat, but it's relatively small. And you would think that if you're going to disarm a live mine like that.
Yeah, I was saying the same thing. It's like, okay, they're going to like retreat the mine. Like, wouldn't that be dangerous to actually explode? It seems kind of, right. Yeah, that was strange. I did notice that.
Yeah, I mean, you would send in a robot or something to do that, or have one guy do it.
That's right.
And then the other thing is just, it doesn't seem to me, I mean, I know my dad was saying that Iran puts mines in that area, but I don't know that for sure, because why would they put mines? Because they also use that area for their own supporting goods and stuff too. So all them doing this kind of thing, it just doesn't seem like in their interest at all, for many, many reasons. It would really destroy their economy in a lot of ways too, if they did that.
Absolutely.
So, what do you think about that?
I mean, I'm right there with you. But the thing about one thing about Iran is kind of like I'm not really sure what you would call it. It's kind of like the little monkey wrench in it is the religion. A lot of that stuff that they're doing is driven by religion. So, I mean, some decisions that they may make are irrational, but could it be like they actually are doing certain things because of religion? I'm just throwing it out there. I'm just asking, could that be? I don't really know. I think that a lot of what's said about them is not true, and I think we should leave them alone. Really, we shouldn't be trying to attack. But at the same time, there could be certain things that are done because of religion.
Yeah, or it could be. I was also thinking it could also be like, well, all these guys are on the boat anyway, so we're not gonna, I'm not gonna act like I'm scared. We're all here anyway. If it blows up, we're all gonna die. So we're just gonna act like we're tough guys. Might as well just stay on the boat anyway. Could be that too. Right. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say.
All right. Well, thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate it.
All right, man. Good night.
All right, now. All right. Shout out to the caller. Great calls about Iran. Yeah, one thing, like I was saying from the jump, when Trump was elected, I was like, I'm not for the foreign wars, the intervention. We need to not have that be a thing. So hopefully we can kind of stick to that and not have it happen. But let me get to my next call here. All right. 779, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Good evening.
Hello.
Is that you, ABL?
It's me.
Hi, it's Zealand Zen.
All right, Zealand Zen. What's going on?
Yes, good to talk to you. Well, I'm a teacher, and I was saying in the chat that the city schools are very bad, but it seems like the Republicans don't talk much about education. Especially, maybe most Republicans are happy with their schools. That's an idea. I think most smaller school districts are better than the larger urban districts that struggle year after year. And they seek solutions that are not solutions. I have taught in just bad schools. I said it in the chat. If I had gone to these schools, I would have had a nervous breakdown. I think most people from a red county who, say, went into a Chicago school, they would have a nervous breakdown. There's so much stress. The schools are so big. They're so crowded. It's like moving on a subway at rush hour all day long, going from class to class. And kids fall through the cracks, as we know. They fall through the cracks. There's a huge bureaucracy. I think the schools were modeled. Are you talking to me?
Well, I'm listening to you. You kind of like if you're hearing the stream, it might be like a little delay. So I'm listening to you on the phone.
Oh, okay. Well, great. So as I was saying, the school districts were organized 150 years ago in a very hierarchical, patriarchal, if you will, format. And they've just gotten so big. They've gotten so big, and so many programs, and so many this, and let's hire more social workers and more psychologists. And really, they're creating their own problems, and they don't see. And I think this contributes to the school shootings because kids are isolated. And we've heard recently valedictorians saying, "Hey, the school didn't help me. They didn't do anything about bullying." And I've taught in the schools. I'm just saying, but the impression that the public gets is that somehow Republicans are responsible for bad schools. It's the furthest thing from the truth.
It doesn't make much sense because when you go to some of these bigger cities, like you go to Chicago, Detroit, where Democrats have been running for a long time, you go to some of these schools, it's ridiculous, and it's a lot of money that are spent. Especially in Detroit, you're talking about a lot of money that is spent per pupil, but yet most of the kids that graduate are either illiterate or close to it. So at a certain point, you got to just understand who's in charge and what they do. And a lot of Democrats are against school choice. And I think that school choice is great. I benefited from that when I was a kid. You got these kids trapped in bad schools that can't go anywhere else. The Democrats definitely have a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me say too that it's I hate to point the finger. Some of the teachers are bad, okay, and I can tell they're bad.
Yeah.
Because the students don't like them. And if students don't like them, they're not wanting to learn. And students need to be excited about learning. I can tell you most of the things students do are go on Google Classroom and do an assignment. And sometimes they just do it on their phones. So here's the kids doing the work on the phone. They're all going to go blind. They don't like it. They prefer a teacher to go up there, draw a map, do a timeline, get everybody involved. It's just sitting in a classroom all day. And so many fights going on. It's just, it's so routine. It's not normal, though. And lastly, the idea of classmates. The kids need more social engagement, and the teachers are not facilitating that. I mean, I just know there are some kids in the classroom, they never talk to anybody in the classroom, ever. I can give you a quick example. I was at a school. It was a theater class. It was the new semester, but like the 5th class. And I noticed this girl's name. I said, "Oh, it's a French name." It turns out she was an international student from Belgium, and no one in the class knew her. No one had been introduced. No one had talked. It was like, this is stupid. This poor girl come from another country and nobody's friendly to her all day long. Where's the teacher? The teacher needs to model being social and friendly to the people around you, and that's right. Inclusion. See, right. Here I am, this white girl from a small town. I'm inclusive, and I'm noticing who's not included. So I'm just saying, there are things, and it's sort of a personality thing and a perception thing. It's not so much a college degree or a certificate thing. You know what I mean? It's like a human. You either have a human talent or you don't.
Exactly. 100%. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
and if you want to know one more thing about school regulations, maybe you've heard of that. Well, do you want me to go? I'll just tell you how ridiculous it is. So I have a master's degree in French, and I taught at universities, but I was told I couldn't teach in schools. Okay, so I went and got a teaching certificate. It was K through 9. So okay, great, I can teach K through 9, but for some reason they say I'm not qualified to teach, sophomore, junior, senior in high school, although I have. But still, they're like, no, you don't get the certificate for that. So I'm not officially qualified, even though I'm overqualified and much more qualified than the average French teacher who was given the certificate. And furthermore, I also passed the test to teach high school French in flying colors, and still the education system tells me I'm not qualified. So isn't that bogus? Is it not bogus? It's totally bogus.
Yeah, it is. 100%.
Anyway, and they're always saying, we need more qualified teachers, more qualified. I am super qualified. Furthermore, I was told I was too expensive because I have so much experience and so much education. The schools won't hire me because they'd rather get somebody straight out where they can hire them at this lower price, and that's thanks to the union.
So the question is, do they even want good teachers?
Precisely. All of these hurdles. And again, they talk about being inclusive. Ha, ha, ha. I've been a sub now for a while. On Teachers Day, the department had a lunch for the teachers, and I was there, and I wasn't even invited to the lunch. Isn't that not inclusive? I mean, and I'm there, hey, man, I'm taking a bullet, too. If something goes down, I'm totally responsible for these kids. And I love the kids. If it weren't for the kids, I wouldn't want to be in the school.
That's right.
So, I love the kids, and they deserve so much more. And it could be done. The schools are too big. I want them at my garden school. See, they're going to love my garden school. Anyway, just wanted to get that off my chest about education.
Well, I thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, now. Take care. All right. Thank you to Zealand Zen, great supporter of the channel, moderator, fantastic person. Thank you for the call. Most certainly appreciate her. All right. You guys have been great tonight. We got a little bit of time left. I got time for maybe 1 or 2 more calls. If you're not subscribed already, please do so. Hit the subscribe button right there below the video. Turn that red button gray and click on the little bell right there as well, so you get notified whenever I go live, post a new video. Also, if you want the We the People hat and other merch, there's links below the video, like a little carousel of products. You can click right there. I design everything, so it all goes to me, or most of it. Teespring handle all the shipping and everything, but I do all the design. If you want any particular designs that I've not done, that are not available, you can request it. Send me an email. I'll see what I can do. The new one is a Clown World sticker and shirt. Well, the shirt's on. Is a shirt there? Yeah, the shirt's there too. So the shirts and the stickers are right there in the ABL merch store. All righty. And then what else I got? I think that's pretty much all I got to promote right now. Y'all just keep on watching. I really appreciate it. I'm gonna read some of the chat, and then we can go ahead and move on to the next thing. Yeah, now the education system is crazy. I went to 3 elementary schools, 2 middle schools, and 2 high schools, and I was able to kind of rate each one. Certain ones better than others. I had a chance to pick my middle school that I went to, and that was good. That was good to have a different experience, although I don't know. It was kind of weird. I think that public schools, a lot of the teachers don't really care. It depends on where you at, really. And it depends on leadership. it's so many things that, if you have a urban area, a lot of crime, sometimes you're not going to get good teachers to come there because you got, who wants to go to like a war zone? You got to pull on the bulletproof vest. People talk about school shootings. I'm not trying to say anything negative about people that have been through that. I'm just talking about some of these schools, you are in an active war zone, essentially. And it's not safe for some of these teachers. When I was in, I say 7th grade or 8th grade, middle school, I saw a 6th grader punch a teacher in the nose with a lock. So, one of those padlocks you have on your locker, they had the lock part, not the big part, but the hook, the lock, whatever that is. They had that part on their knuckle, hit him right in the nose. He came back with a brace. His whole nose was like, it was his big white brace on his nose. Broke the teacher's nose. And it was an older white man, probably about 50, 55, something like that. All that was split open by a 6th grader, 11 years old at most. Little boy. When you're in an environment like that, it's hard to recruit good teachers. And then also, a lot of that has to do with the policies of the school. You can't suspend, you can't expel, but that's a different story. I'm kind of going down a rabbit hole. 830, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL. It's Nick Taylor.
Nick Taylor, what's happening, man?
What's going on, brother, man? I'm calling you from my office phone. That's why you probably, because I know the 210 number that I normally call from.
Yeah.
It's being charged. I looked at it. It had 16%. So I'm like, ain't no need of me even trying to call on that one. Right. But, bruh, I'm with you on that. Man, I'm not into this deal here. This thing has Gulf of Tonkin written all over it to me, but that's just my brain. I could be wrong. You know me. I'm always quick to admit, when, I could be wrong. I doubt it, but I could be. But, and I don't, now look, as a war veteran, I'm not a warmonger, but I will say this. Iran is a totally different beast than Iraq. Did everybody forget that Iraq defeated Iran? 3 times? Does everybody keep forgetting that part?
I didn't know. I didn't know.
Well, that was part of the deal that was going on. Because and then people say, well, Iraq only defeated Iran because we helped them. Yes and no, but we didn't have boots on the ground, or nothing like that with them. But I tell people the Iran-Iraq war, that was the name of it. Iraq won. You know what I mean? They won handily. And now terrain-wise, that could have been a problem then, but we got space neutralizers now. I'm not worrying about their mid-range torpedo. I'm not worrying about none of that stuff, especially when now the current military, it ain't the same military that I was in, because they get stress cards and get the whine and cry, and you drill instructor can't really yell at you anymore. And what? But I'm going to leave all that aside. I ain't worried about China. I ain't worried about Iran. If you couldn't defeat Iraq, in 10 years, and me and my merry men, because, I was one of the first on the ground, 2nd Armored Cavalry Regiment, we beat you in a week. And Iran couldn't defeat Iraq in 10 years, and we beat them in a week. 1 week. And we had 1 month to prepare. 1 month, 2 months. I'll give them 2. So I'm not, now, does that mean I want to go over here and start stuff with them? Of course not. That's worthless, waste of life and limb. You know what I mean? And millions of dollars, man, of material. Now, the military-industrial complex would love, that. But I would think it's a bad idea. Number one. Number two, I'm not worrying about China. ABL, you're a smart guy. Who's China's number one exporter?
USA.
I'll be damned. What do you know? So if I'm your, all right, you got ABL T-shirt Enterprise, and compared to all the other purchasers that you got of your online wares, I purchase from you more than all your other customers combined. Okay?
Yeah.
Are you going to be willing to pick a fight with me?
Well,
because you still got to support and sustain the people of ABListan, all the people that's working in your factories. You know what I'm saying? That's making all this stuff.
And they got over a billion people, like 1.3 billion.
Yeah. Now I'm keeping Hong Kong out because, even though Hong Kong is now kind of like back under Chinese control, they're not under the Brits anymore. I bet they wish they could reverse that now, right? But Hong Kong, they do their own thing. Now, you got all these people in ABListan. You got all this infrastructure, all this other stuff in ABListan, and all these people you have to feed in this machine and all this other stuff. And it'll come to a screeching halt if ABL gets into a fight with Nick Taylor.
Right.
Right, wrong, or indifferent. Right, wrong, or indifferent. You're going to be very reluctant unless I just push you to it where you don't have any choice.
You're going to avoid it at all costs because that's going to be catastrophic for you. You hurt yourself more than you could ever hurt the opposing side.
Exactly. And then let's even go even further. Let's go even further. ABListan say, screw it. I'm attacking U.S. Taylor, and we go to war. And let's say just for some weird reason you win. Okay, you've lost your customer base. Right. Okay, now you own my stuff. Okay, so what are you going to do? Because there's going to be no generation of nothing. How are you going to sustain your level of life when your income after war has been cut in half?
Right.
See, it's no big deal going to war and fighting with somebody that you don't depend on for anything. Or you depend on them for very, very little. You see, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
It's just like, it was no big deal. Well, don't mean to sound callous. Outside the loss of life and limb and materiel, there's no big deal going to war with Vietnam. There's no big deal going to war with Korea. There's no big, we don't need you. You know what I mean? You do nothing. You do nothing for us, and you can't command us. And the only people that's scared of what are we going to do if China comes? Well, you're going to run because you're a coward and you're going to die. I'm going to be one of them people that Admiral Yamamoto was talking about in the Second World War. We can't invade homeland. We can't invade the United States because there will be a rifle behind every blade of grass shooting at us. And they can go to New York, California. They can have them like Colorado. They go to the Carolinas. They go to Texas. They go to Alabama. They go to Tennessee. It's not going to happen. It's not gonna happen. Oh, and then I'm gonna say this and get out of here. Why do people keep saying there was no weapons of mass destruction? Stop it. 500 tons of yellow cake uranium, because we had to sit on it. We had to sit. We the ones. I tell people, don't listen to me. I said, take your search engine of choice and put in 500 tons yellow cake uranium, and by the time you finish typing, the search bar is going to fill itself out.
Right.
CNN, MSNBC, CBS, ABC, and then everybody that look at it online, they tell me, how come I didn't know this? Because you watch television. That's why.
Right.
I said, because you watch television. And then I even had people come, wait a minute, are you kidding me? And I'm like, what? They like CNN done a story on it. No, they done it online. They just didn't do it on TV, so they can't say, well, you can't say we didn't report it. We did. We just didn't talk about it on TV. But they pushed that lie and that narrative. Then we took it that we sat on it until First ID came. Them and 35th came, and they got it, and they transported 13 Subcom, their transportation division, picked it up and took it from, oh God, I want to say the name of the place is Al Tawafia. It's in Iraq. That's where we had it. And the United States, we sold it to Canada. Mm. I tell people, call me a lie. And they look it up. Well, they don't like, but, well, we're talking a different WMD. Wait a minute. That's like a cop patent. Okay, here we go again. All right, there's ABL. We heard he got a gun. Freeze, ABL, don't move. And we pat him down, and we pull a 380 out of your pocket.
Right.
Say, I found a gun, and the cops say, no, that ain't the gun I was looking for. This is a gun.
Right.
It's a gun.
It still fits. It's a gun. A gun is a gun. I mean, come on.
Yeah. And about half of it was already enriched. And we can tell the part that was enriched because that was the part that we had to keep on the other side of the barrier. And the other stuff is over here. It was low grade, as they call it. You know, it hadn't been enriched yet. And matter of fact, Russia was helping them. What do you call it? It's an isotopic process where it kind of reduces its strength. And Russia helped them do that. Because all this, majority of that, it came from the mines. They mined it out of Niger.
Okay, I didn't know that.
That's where,
yeah,
it was mined out of Niger, and Iran tried to get it, but Saddam had more money.
I see.
And see, Liza Jean, she's in Canada. She just put on the screen. Yep, sold to Canada. Canada bought it. All 500 tons of it. Canada bought it. They said they're not going to use it. Then what did they buy it for?
Right. So it definitely existed and people have it. Canada actually purchased what you're speaking about. So it definitely was there.
Yes, it was there. And I tell people, and then I had one guy to give me the thing. I gave him, you seen the movie Shooter, right? With Mark Wahlberg?
I've not seen that. I heard a lot about it, but I've not seen it.
Okay, well, it was a part where they were talking to this old guy, LeVar Helm. He's passed now in the movie. He is talking about the grassy knoll, JFK shooting and this, that, and the other, and said the guys that took that shot and killed them, those guys were dead now, was buried in unmarked graves out past Terralanga, New Mexico. Mm. And one of the guys said, and you know this for fact? And know what he said? I still got the shovel. And that's when people tell me, when I tell them about this deal, and they say, you know this for fact? I like when they're around here, and I point to the picture of the wall. I said, you see the third guy from the left? Hey, that's you. Yeah, no crap. 2nd Armored Cavalry Regiment. We were the ones that had it. I'm like, that's me.
Right.
So, yes, I have a YouTube channel, dude. I'm looking at the chat. I'm not listening to it, of course, because the feedback. But I just wanted to throw that in. I don't know why everybody keep forgetting. They won't do research. Now, they know whose music video coming out, who won the booty shaker contest and all this other crap. They know the nefarious stuff. But the real hardcore stuff, they do not know. Iraq defeated Iran. Iran could not defeat Iraq in 10 years, and they had help from the Uzbeks and Pakistan and Russian weapons, and they could not defeat them. They couldn't defeat them. You couldn't beat Iraq, and we beat them in a month. You know what I mean? Now, not a Black Hawk, the Apache helicopter and the M1 and the. Do you know that was the biggest war we had with no battlefield tested military equipment in history? Just about everything else. The last battlefield implement that went into a war untested, believe it or not, was the M16 rifle. Prior to that, dig that. Now the M16 was fought in other countries' hand, but not by soldiers.
Right.
But you know that the Bradley, the M1 Abrams, the Apache helicopter, all that stuff was untested. I mean tested, but you know, not in war.
Right. Of course.
And it just like they say y'all are cheating. That tank is too fast. That's the whole. I mean, don't shoot at it. The only thing you're gonna do is make it mad.
Right. Exactly.
And they're gonna kill you.
Right.
That's a bad thing. But anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. But tell people, put it in their search engine. Once they put in 500 tons, I bet you yellow cake uranium pops right up for them if you put it in your search engine right now. And it was reported on by everyone. But they printed one narrative and said something else because you know the deal. I hate George Bush and I hate Dick Cheney.
There it is. That's how I go, man. But I thank you for the call as always, man. Definitely appreciate you. And I put your YouTube channel in the box so everybody can, know where to find you.
All right, bro, and good to see you, man. And I'm quite sure I'll see you on a Sunday Rumble somewhere where we can chop it up with them.
There it is. Absolutely.
Okay, it will be good, brother.
All right, now.
All right, bye.
All right, thank you to Nick Taylor for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. But now I gotta go. I appreciate y'all for being here. I'll be on again, doing a live video. When is that? Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. And I'll be doing videos all throughout the week, pre-recorded about different topics. If there's a thing that I've not covered you want me to cover, you can email me at my email address, contact@anthonyblogan.com. All my social media is on my website, anthonyblogan.com. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. That's where I'm at. If I'm anywhere else, and that's just not me. So don't fall for no fakes. Just go to the website. Everything is right there. But that is all I got. Thank y'all to the mods. The mods doing a great job. Had a little bit of a troll attack tonight, and you guys handled it very well. Michelle A., Omar Adams, Liza Jean, Bill from the Hills, Ansel, everybody, thank y'all for what y'all do. Zealand Zen, of course. Thank you all for helping me throughout this whole situation and making the chat run smooth. But that is all I got. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out. And peace.